with a mega card of matchups. Not just one, but 2 world title belts on the line. Stand by for the biggest show in Cage Warriors history. For approaching 2 decades, Cage Warriors has produced a plethora of great champions, iconic fight figures, and high-quality action in a century of shows. And for Cage Warriors 100, it's a historic event from Europe's leading MMA promotion. The Viola Arena in Cardiff is our venue for this landmark show, and 2 vacant Cage Warriors world titles on the line. Tulare Combat star Jack Shaw finally gets the chance to win the bantamweight belt in front of his army of home fans.
Biggest night in Welsh MMA history, biggest night in Cage Warriors history, and you can expect a high quality performance from myself, the best one you're going to see today.
But London's undefeated powerhouse Mike Echendu is looking to destroy the Tank's dream, and he's not lacking in confidence.
It's his backyard, but the cage is my house. No one's beating me in my house.
The Cage Warriors featherweight tournament also reaches its climax tonight with the vacant belt on the line. Derbyshire hardman Dean Truman faces Birmingham stylist Aidan Lee in what could be a classic striker versus grappler encounter.
You're just going to see the same Dean Truman, battering people.
You can't scrap with someone that's not there to be hit, and I'll be showing why I'm the best in the division.
Crazy Horse Josh Reed looks to resurrect his own bantamweight title ambitions against talented judoka Scott Malone. Cardiff's Aaron Khalid does battle with Norwegian striker Håkon Foss, and former UFC star Nicholas Dalby faces the dangerous Irish honey badger Phil Mulpeter. It's all coming up on an amazing Cage Warriors 100 card. Simply no hype required. This is Cage Warriors 100. I'm Layla Annalee, and as always, it is my pleasure to be joined by Cage Warriors President Graham Boylan and UFC's Dan Hardy. Graham, congratulations on a centenary of shows, and what a main card to celebrate.
It's an amazing card. We've held all the big guns for this last show of the year. Cage Warriors 100, the main card is crazy. We don't know where to begin, but I'm going to let you try and guide us.
It's going to be nothing but exciting now. A massive crowd and incredible energy. It's undeniable that they're a massive crowd here for our Welsh fighters. And of course, a big one, Jack Shaw. Everyone's looking for Jack Shaw to get his coronation tonight. Tell me, how has he become such a big name here?
You know, it's the way he fights. He's an exciting fighter. He chases the finish. He's very clinical in the way he approaches. And to be honest, I think we've seen for a couple of fights now that there's a little bit of impatience in his approach. He knows he's a world champion. He just wants that belt to prove it. Obviously, Mike Echendu is going to validate him. If he gets a win over Echendu, then, you know, that really puts Jack Shaw right at the top of the pile for European prospects. Then we're going to see him move on to greater things. And we know Cage Warriors for years and years has been a launching platform to some of the biggest stars in the sport. And congratulations to Graham for that as well. I mean, you know, what an amazing event to be a part of tonight.
Of course, Mike Echendu is in enemy territory here. It's going to be an intimidating arena for him. However, he said he's not feeling the pressure at all because the cage is his home. How powerful a fighter is he?
Mike is a cool cat, okay? He's a very, very strong opponent for Jack. He's very solid. He's a very, very fast and athletic opponent for Jack. He's going to look to pick Jack up and send him across the cage, take him down, sit in him, and teach Jack a lesson on the floor. The only issue here is Jack is really good on the floor. So we're all completely confused as to where this fight's going to go. Everybody. I mean, today it's Mike, tomorrow it's Jack. So we're here, finally. It's Cage Warriors 100, and they're going to get it on.
Let's talk about confidence. I spoke to Mike earlier. I said to him, how are you feeling? And he said, like a champion. How important will his confidence be in an arena like this tonight?
It's massively confident, especially if you look at Mike's style, because he's got to get close to Jack to win this fight. He's got to get his hands on him. You know, if he hangs back, if he waits on the outside, if he's not confident, then Jack's going to pick him off at a distance with his long-range striking. So Mike needs the confidence to close distance, get his hands on Jack, get it to the floor where he can start to smother him. He's a very strong fighter, but that range distance is going to be the challenge for him tonight.
Well, it's not our only title fight tonight, and of course it's not our only fight tonight. Let's take a look at the rest of the main card. Dan, if you can walk us through this.
Well, there's some great fights. Obviously, Scott Malone's coming off a big win over Adam Amasinga. He's going to get a real test in a very heavy-handed Josh Reed, who always gets the crowd going. Nicholas Dalby's taking on veteran Phil Mulpeter, who's going to test him at every range. But, you know, Dalby looked great in his last fight. I expect him to try and keep this at distance. Foss against Aaron Khalid. I mean, that's a striker versus a grappler if ever I've seen one. Khalid wants to fight on the floor. He wants to take the back. Foss wants to land those dangerous knees and elbows that we've seen before. The vacant featherweight title, Dean Truman against Aiden Lee. I mean, you know, the two best featherweights in Europe, there's no doubt about it. Aiden Lee's very slick, very clinical. Dean Truman's very creative, very aggressive. And then obviously the world title fight in the main event. We need to say no more about that. It's a great fight.
Graham, your thoughts on the co-main event?
The co-main event for us is the end of a tournament. You know, we got one of the best strikers in Dean Truman coming into this, and we got Aiden Lee, who's no secret looking to solve. So again, very similar to what Dan says with Foss and Khalid, striker versus grappler. It's very similar with the featherweight co-main event.
Now, on an event like this, on an anniversary as big as this one, you can forgive us for feeling a little bit nostalgic. And there is one man who understands the pressure of the octagon like no other. He stood on my left, and I think it's time we take a little look at some parts of the outlaw Dan Hardy when he was a cage warrior. Surprise. You can feel the aggression, you can feel the emotion.
You make me feel very old. You make me feel very old.
But looking back at that, how pivotal a night is a night like tonight for our fighters? Because they'll be looking back at that as a major memory in their career, won't they?
You know, every single Cage Warriors is an important night because we know that new stars are born in every one of these shows. I was so honored to be a part of Cage Warriors for so many years. You know, I built my career here. It prepared me to step onto the UFC and do what I did, and it's prepared the likes of Conor McGregor, Michael Bisping to do the same thing. I mean, we have Joanna's fighting tonight for the UFC world title. She's a Cage Warriors champion. You know, Cage Warriors has been so important to European MMA, to world MMA, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Perfect night to celebrate all of the hard work we've done here already. So let us move on because our fighters are almost ready. But first, let us remind ourselves of the rules of the cage. 3 judges score the contest. Bouts are 3 5-minute rounds, unless, like in our main and co-main event, it's a title fight of 5 5-minute rounds. The round winner gets 10 points, with their opponent awarded 9 points or fewer. Scoring is based on effective striking and grappling, followed by aggression and cage control, in that order. Our card opens this evening with a bantamweight contest as Commonwealth Games judo gold medalist Scott Malone takes on Josh Reed. Scott Boom Boom Malone produced a hugely impressive performance in the Birmingham Genting Arena last time out, punishing Adam Amasinga and forcing a late stoppage. Tonight, the Dundee fighter is looking to excite again and demonstrate that he's a genuine article in the bantamweight division.
A win would hopefully put me right in line for a title shot. I'm hoping to be on top of the cage by the end of the night, calling out the champion that's not even fought yet.
Welsh talent Josh Reed came within a whisker of defeating the now UFC star Nathaniel Wood and becoming the Cage Warriors champion in their epic encounter just over a year ago. Crazy Horse was ultimately stopped in a big turnaround and was then caught cold by Belgium Brian Boulon in his next contest. Tonight, Reed must rebuild his top-level credentials.
You're going to see a patient but aggressive Josh Reed. Scott Malone has a good ground game, has good judo, but I believe I have his number on the feet.
I'm expecting him to come forward swinging. He might fight differently because he's coming off 2 losses, but I think this is probably going to be the best Josh Reed it's been about.
I have that one-shot power which could end the fight at any moment.
He does come out swinging in the first round, so I'm hoping to finish him probably in the later rounds.
Tonight I'm going to kick this main card off with a bang.
It's Scotland versus Wales.
Cardiff, what's up? It's Cage Warriors 100. Please welcome first. We're going to kick off this historic night in the bantamweight division. Give it up to both of these warriors as they make their way into the cage at the Viola Arena. First up, he hails from Dundee in Scotland. He is Scott Boom Boom Malone.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Viola Arena. And welcome, of course, to the big one. It's Cage Warriors 100. Brad, what a privilege to call the action from cage side alongside my broadcast colleague, Josh Palmer. And Josh, what a way to kick things off on our main card here. One of the most exciting prospects we've finally got a look at earlier this year at Cage Warriors, Scott Malone.
Yeah, really interesting bantamweight clash this one. Scott Malone, pro record of 5 wins and just the 1 loss. That was actually in his debut. He's currently riding a 5-fight win streak. You know what? He's finished 4 of them. This is the 3rd time we've seen him on Cage Warriors. 2 very good performances so far. As you saw in the preview clips there, last time at Cage Warriors 98 in October, picked up a really good 3rd round TKO over Adam Morisinger. And, you know, he really controlled a lot of that bout and you know, worried the young prospect, eventually getting the TKO finish.
Scott Boom Boom Malone at the Irish Sport prep point here. A 2-time Commonwealth Judo Championship gold medalist. Incredibly impressive. And as you mentioned, Josh, on that 5-fight winning streak, it has to be said, though, that his contest here tonight at Cage Warriors 100 against Josh Reed is undoubtedly his toughest task today.
Yeah, it's a big step up in competition for him, for sure. It's interesting that he gets a lot of the damage done on the feet, but, you know, he's got that judo background. I mean, you don't win 2 Commonwealth gold medals without having amazing balance, tenacity, just viciousness in your ability to exert throws. You know, it's a whole dimension to his game that we don't actually see too much of, but he's got it if he needs it.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, please put your hands together as he makes his way into the cage this evening. Hailing from Blaenavon in Wales, he is Josh Crazy Horse Reed.
Well, he hails from Blaenavon in Wales, but I think half of the hometown may be here in the arena here tonight. The Viola Arena going absolutely insane for the Crazy Horse, Josh Reed.
We've got 3 Welsh fighters on this main card tonight, and this crowd are going to get behind every one of them. Josh Reed running his way down to the ring. Look, his record's 7-2. He was undefeated as a professional until he ran into Nathaniel Wood in that title challenge back at Cage Warriors 86. Since then, he's only had 1 fight, and it was that unfortunate submission loss to Brian Bouland at Cage Warriors 91. So this is a pivotal moment for Josh Reed. Can he get back on track on what was an immensely promising career? If he suffers 3 defeats in a row, it's really question time for him.
Yeah, I mean, that was obviously a huge and memorable moment in Cage Warriors history, that fight with the future champion Nathaniel Wood, one of the craziest rounds we've ever seen. As you say, Josh making his 5th Cage Warriors appearance and has a real point to prove tonight, not just because he's trying to come back after 2 losses, but to send this arena home happy. The groundswell of support behind this guy every time he fights is absolutely immense, but he's probably never heard a louder and bigger crowd than the one he hears tonight at Cage Warriors 100. Let's take a look at our tail of the tape for our opening bout here at Cage Warriors 100. 30 years old is Scott Boom Boom Malone, just 27 is the Crazy Horse Josh Reed. 5 feet 9 inches tall is the Welshman against the Englishman's 5 feet 7. 5-1-0 is the record for Boom Boom, 7-2-0 for the Crazy Horse, and it's the Commonwealth Judo gold medalist who is the bookmaker's favourite. Let's throw this one to our MC in the cage, Andy Friedlander, though, and get this one underway.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is 3 rounds in the Cage Warriors Bantamweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, judoka with a professional MMA record of 5 wins and a single loss, standing 5 feet 7 inches tall. He weighed in exactly on the bantamweight limit of 135 pounds. Fighting out of Dundee, Scotland, Scott Boom Boom Malone. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist and striker with a professional record of 7 wins, 2 losses, standing 5 feet 9 inches tall. He's scaled 135 pounds. Fighting out of Blaenavon, Wales, Josh Crazy Horse Reed. And when the action begins, the referee in charge, Mark Goddard.
Referee Mark Goddard, a bit of a Cage Warriors legend himself. And the lovely Edith getting this one underway. 3 5-minute rounds if they need them in the Cage Warriors bantamweight division. Josh Crazy Horse Reed in the black with white trim. Scott Boom Boom Malone in the longer black trunks.
Watch the fingers.
Southpaw stance for Malone. Reed showing us some kicks early.
We've got a few guys in the cage, Josh, with good grappling chops, but both men favouring the stand-up in previous fights.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens if it goes to the ground. They're both very well versed there. But as you say, getting the job done up top, and it's a deep shot with the reap early. Beautiful takedown from Scott Malone. That was timed to perfection.
Yeah, playing against type against his last contest against Adam Amasinghe, which he won by knockout after a great striking display.
Yeah, his neck's not in too much danger here as he's managed to pass all the way into side control, so it doesn't really allow Josh Reed to get any leverage onto both of those carotid arteries, and it's an easy pass. Underhook now and good side control for Scott Malone.
Malone looking to stay very heavy on top here. Getting some strikes off early, giving Josh Reed a lot to think about, stepping straight into full mount, Josh.
Yeah, Reed is attacking this arm though, and that Kimura from the bottom can be very cheeky, but he's rolled into an armbar here.
Malone looking for the armbar.
He's curling that left leg as hard as he can, which is what he's got to do to try and break the posture on the head of Josh Reed. He doesn't have a particularly good grip with his other arm. He's going to try and roll through here. You see that shin on the back of the head. He's trying to force Reed to forward roll.
Precarious position for Reed. He's grimacing here.
This is dangerous. Oh, he might have popped the elbow out. Here we go.
Scott Boom Boom Malone looking to crank the arm.
He seizes it back in. You see he can't quite align the elbow with his hips.
Gruesome scenes here in the first round as Malone tries to crank this arm.
I think the elbow's just come below the line of his hip, which means it's a little bit safer, but this is a horrible position for Josh Reed.
And how much effort does Reed put into this? Does Malone put into this now, beg your pardon, Josh, before he gives it up?
The interesting question is going to be what position they flesh out in if he gives it. Oh, he gets it!
Oh, it's over! It looked to be perhaps a verbal submission from the Crazy Horse. And Scott Boom Boom Malone, in his second Cage Warriors bout, picks up his second incredible victory.
I need to see the hip adjustment that he made there to get the leverage back under the elbow. It's a beautiful bit of tenacity to stay on it. And what you'll notice is he only needed one arm to really hang on to Reed's wrist, because the padding on the gloves gives you this little bit of lever to hang on to. Let's take a look. Here's the finish.
Well, he was almost telling his corner there that he couldn't get out, I believe.
Yeah, that's a lot deeper than we could see from our angle.
And it was a tap there. And that arm, as we said, Josh, in a rather gruesome position for some time. Credit to the toughness of the Crazy Horse for hanging in there. But Scott Boom Boom Malone not to be denied in his second Cage Warriors outing, and you will have seen his celebration after the fact. He motioned for the belt, and you'd be hard-pressed to think of a lot of people in the Cage Warriors bantamweight division that are too far in front of this young man now. Scott Boom Boom Malone in enemy territory with another absolutely stunning finish. Malone celebrates with the Scottish flag around his shoulders, and we throw this one to our MC in the cage, Mr. Andy Friedlander, and he will make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Goddard calls a stop to this contest at 2 minutes and 16 seconds of round number 1, declaring the winner by submission via armbar, Scott Boom Boom Malone.
Scott Malone back on Cage Warriors with another big win. He joins my broadcast colleague, Josh Palmer.
I'm here with our winner, Scott Malone. Scott, what a fantastic finish for you. Give us your thoughts on that fight, because Josh Reed, you know, he's a tough character.
I genuinely thought his arm was going to snap there. He was not tapping. Managed to get the arm wrapped under my arm, drive in the hips, tap. Great, thanks.
Well, let's have a look at it quickly. If you look up at the screen for me over there and just talk us through the finish, because you had to hang on and make a few adjustments.
As you were seeing here, you notice that I took it under my armpit. That's when he gets the tap. I couldn't get enough torque back, and then once I got it underneath my armpit, drive in the hips, it was on. I knew it was on. I knew I had it from the start, but I just had to get the finish. He's a strong dude, and he was not tapping, but eventually got it. It's great.
Was that the game plan, to come out here and put it immediately on the floor? Because we thought you might throw hands for a bit first.
Yeah, I genuinely thought he was going to come out a lot harder than that with his previous fights. He comes forward quite a lot, throws very heavy hands. I was expecting that, so I was prepared. I was keeping distance. The shot was there. I took it. That's my game.
I think this is a 5 or 6 fight win streak for you now. What's next for you?
Oh, that belt. I'm calling out the winner. Whoever wins that belt tonight, I'm coming for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Scott Malone.
Scott Malone with a fabulous round 1 win there. You are watching Cage Warriors 100, coming to you live from Cardiff's Viola Arena. Stick with us, because coming up we have top class international contest in the welterweight division. This fight could be a springboard to a title shot as we see Philip Mulpeter meet Nicholas Dalby. To our commentators, Brad and Josh.
Well, Josh, what a fast and furious start here to our card at Cage Warriors 100. It's the big one, and that was certainly a big opening. Scott Boom Boom Malone. We didn't really know what to expect, because we know he's got that judo background. We saw him throwing hands last time, but came out and put an absolute clinic in enemy territory.
Yeah, clinic's the word I was going to use. It was clinical. It absolutely was. I mean, the takedown was perfectly timed. Used the leg reap to get it to the floor, and he established side control so quickly. I mean, that was partially helped by Josh Reed trying to hang on to his head a little bit. Bit of a mistake from him, but straight into mount, and then, you know, those transitions in particular are something you see from judokas. The rolling jujikatamis, the straight arm bars. It's one of the few submissions that you actually genuinely see a lot in high-level competition judo. And he showed his ability to hang on and make those necessary adjustments. What a fantastic submission.
Yeah, we hear from fighters all the time, Josh, you know, the old cliche of if only this, if only that. And Scott Malone, for the past year or so, has sort of bemoaned the fact that he's had so many pullouts and so much misfortune with opponents not wanting to fight him or pulling out scheduled fights. He's finally got those opportunities now, and it's looking by all accounts that he could be that guy that goes all the way. He's just pre-called out the winner of tonight's main event. Could he go all the way?
Yeah, he's certainly got an opportunity to do it. I mean, we didn't even talk about that in the walkouts. This guy has had like 8 or 9 or 10 fights cancelled in his career with people pulling out on him. Now he's got the momentum, he's got this 6-fight win streak, and he really could take on anyone in this division.
Well, we're going to be very interested to see where Scott Malone ends up next, but talk about interesting, talk about exciting. We're about to turn it up to 100, if you will. It's Philip Mulpeter versus Nicholas Dalby, and it's coming up here at Cage Warriors 100 next.
Cage Warriors 100 is going to be the Echendu airline show for sure. Every time I step in there, it's my show. The opponent's always irrelevant.
I've been thinking of this moment since the minute I signed with Cage Warriors. It's something I've been training for my whole life, and tonight the belt's coming back to Appleby.
I train mixed martial arts. I don't just train wrestling alone. I don't just train grappling alone. I'm a mixed martial artist, and I'm well versed everywhere.
He's got good top pressure, you know, good wrestling and grappling, but I just feel like all round that I've got a higher skill set, and tonight I think that'll show.
I'm going to win this fight because I'm a great. That's what I train for. I train to be a great. Everyone's going to remember the name Mike Echendu Airlines.
To be Cage Warriors champion would mean the world. You know, I've been training all my life to become a world champion, and tonight I finally get to tick that off the bucket list when I get that win.
Versus Jack Shaw in the main event here in Cardiff's Viola Arena. We've just seen an incredible first round win by Scott Malone here for Cage Warriors 100. I'm rejoined by Dan Hardy. Dan, an incredible opening, great start to the night.
Really good, very fast. You know, Scott Malone looked great against Adam Singer. He looks even better against Josh Reed. I think we've got to keep an eye on this kid for sure.
And now our next fight, Nicholas Dalby versus Philip Mulpeter. Now, Nicholas Dalby's an interesting fight at the beginning of his career, a 14-fight win streak right up until he fought the now very well-known gorilla Darren Till, of whom he drew with. Now, I heard Nicholas Dalby complain, as it were, that it's very hard for him to find matchups because people look at his record, look at a draw with Darren Till, and they go, no thanks.
Well, you know, it's perfectly reasonable to think that as well, because, I mean, he was down for a couple of rounds against Darren Till, but he showed toughness, he showed composure, and he looked great towards the end of the fight. He started to pull the fight back a little bit. And as we saw in his last fight, he's very slick. I mean, that head kick that dropped his opponent in his last fight was absolutely beautifully timed and placed. His standard of martial arts is very high, and I think when people watch his fights, they realize that, they recognize that, and he's a risk because no matter where the fight goes, he's dangerous.
Now, Philip Mulpeter, the honey badger, he said yes. And he's also said he believes that this fight would possibly be the most fireworks of any fight he's seen before. What does he need to watch out for tonight?
I just think he needs to make this a scrap. He needs to make this quite ugly, you know, get in Nicholas Dalby's face, you know, dirty box him, hang on his head, drag him to the floor, just make it uncomfortable for him. Nick Dalby wants to hang on the outside. His old nickname was Sharpshooter. I know he goes by Locomotivo now, but Sharpshooter is the way that you've got to think of the way he fights, because he does like to hang back and read people and set them up for that single perfect shot, whereas Phil Mulpeter needs to make it kind of aggressive and you know, a little bit ragged around the edges to find those gaps in Nicholas's game.
Well, it is time now to find out how it'll go down. It's time for the big collision between Nicholas Dalby and Philip Mulpeter. Saw Irish fighter Phil Mulpeter in Belgium when he produced a rear naked choke to subdue and defeat Jan Quahagans.
That's over! Philip Mulpeter chokes out Jan Quahagans!
Body is really good, mate. I've no injuries. Last time everything was kind of niggling at me. Just one thing after another just kept building. This time round it's the complete opposite. I'm very, very much prepared for this fight, which makes me very dangerous.
Tonight, the self-styled Honey Badger is looking to keep his winning momentum going when he faces the high-quality Danish MMA star Nicholas Dalby.
The fans are going to see a good fight. It's going to be fireworks. A win tonight puts me next in line for the Cage Warriors welterweight title.
Locomotivo got his own fight career back on track last time out by choking out Italian veteran Roberto Allegretti after a spectacular knockdown.
Ever since my layoff, I've been picking up my skills again, and I've been knocking down people in the gym, and hopefully you're going to see that in the fight as well. Phil Mulpeter is a very dangerous guy, and his nickname says it all. He's called the Honey Badger, and it's not for nothing, so I'm very excited for this fight.
Dalby's very good. He's very tough, aggressive fighter. He likes kind of outside style and comes forward a lot, which I think will suit my style.
You're going to see the best Locomotivo ever. It's Cage Warriors 100, and I'm here to prove I'm the best, so I'm going to smash him to pieces and get a fight for that title next.
Right now, here in Cardiff, we welcome our two welterweights into the cage at the Viola Arena. Please put your hands together first up for the man from Portarlington in Ireland. He is Phil, the Honey Badger, Mulpeter.
Straight back to the action here at Cage Warriors 100. And perhaps outside of our title bouts, the contest that has had Tom's weighing most of all on the European and indeed international MMA scene. Josh Phillip, the Honey Badger Mulpeter, taking on the former champ Locomotivo, Nicholas Dalby.
This is such a good match. I'm really excited for it. Phil Mulpeter making his way out to the cage now. 9-5 is his pro record, a lot of finishes, 5 wins by TKO, 2 submissions. Seen him a fair few times on Cage Warriors before, with mixed results though, to be fair. This is his 6th appearance with us. We saw him a lot between 2012 and 2014, and then he just kind of disappeared for 4 years and was plagued by cancelled bouts and, you know, struggled to get some momentum going again. But he joined us back again at Cage Warriors 94 in June and put on a great performance against Janka Hagens.
Riding a 2-fight win streak into this bout. He's known, like his namesake, for basically being very, very aggressive. He's very exciting, very well-rounded. And he's got the likes of, well, 2 former Cage Warriors world champions in his corner, Cole Pendred and Chris Fields. So if you're looking for a bit of a pedigree in the old corner team, that's what you've got right there. And looking to follow in their footsteps for Cage Warriors gold is the Honey Badger, Phil Mulpeter.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise as he makes his walk to the cage in Cardiff. It is from Copenhagen, Denmark, Nicholas Locomotivo Dalby.
One of the coolest cats in the Cage Warriors welterweight division. The former sharpshooter, now known as Locomotivo. And the steam train just keeps on rolling. He had a phenomenal bout when he joined us back from his time in the UFC. Came up short, but got back on that winning track last time and wants to keep that momentum up here tonight in Wales, Josh.
Yeah, the bout last time we saw him at Cage Warriors 96, you know, it was a real gut check bout for him. He needed to win that to get things back on track, and I think restore some of that confidence that had perhaps been knocked in the loss to Carlo Pellisoli Jr. at Cage Warriors 93. Look, Dalby's record is great overall. I mean, you heard it in the previews with Layla and Dan there. He's 15-3-1. He went undefeated all the way up to his time in the UFC, that draw with Darren Till. You know, what got him there was just clinical striking. Really does play on the outside, plays a sort of karateka in-out, very fast style. You'll see a tremendous amount of movement from him. And a lot of good shots, but you know, we saw his ground game's amazing as well. We just don't see that much of it. But he put his opponent to sleep last time with a one-arm rear naked choke, which is not easy to do.
Former Cage Warriors champion and a UFC veteran, as we've said, and Josh, as you just highlighted, known for his striking, particularly that question mark kick. And as both these men said in the VT before the fight, a win here puts them right in line for a shot at Ross Houston's Cage Warriors welterweight world title. Nicholas Dalby just exiting the Isosport prep point. Locomotivo and the Honey Badger were just moments away from one of the craziest fights of the year, folks. And without further ado, it's time for our tail off the tape for this welterweight contest. 30 years old is Philip Mulpeter, 34 is Nicholas Dalby. Just 1 inch taller is the man from Copenhagen, Denmark. Dalby with the 15-3-1 record against Mulpeter's 9-5-0. A considerable and surprising underdog, perhaps, is the man from SBG. Without further ado, we'll throw this one to our MC, Mr. Andy Friedlander in the cage, and he will get proceedings underway.
Right now, here in Cardiff, ladies and gentlemen, we move to a Cage Warriors welterweight bout. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a Kung Fu mixed martial artist. He boasts a professional record of 9 wins and 5 losses. Standing 5 feet 10 inches tall, he weighed in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Port Tarlington, Ireland, Phil the Honey Badger Mulpeter. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 15 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw. Standing 5 feet 11 inches tall, he weighed in at 170.8 pounds. Hailing from Copenhagen, Denmark, Nicholas Locomotivo Dalby. And when the action begins, the referee in charge, Rich Mitchell.
The lovely Edith about to get us underway here at Cage Warriors 100. 3 5-minute rounds if they need them in the welterweight division. Locomotivo Nicholas Dalby in the yellow with black trim. The Honey Badger Phil Mulpeter in the blue with yellow. Referee Rich Mitchell in charge of the action, and it's an early takedown from Mulpeter.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. He knew Dalby was going to try and engage immediately, and he just countered it straight off the bat. Good single leg, and he's hustled to almost straight to full mount here. Dalby's doing a good job of replacing that guard.
It's certainly not how the critics, the pundits, and pretty much everyone else watching thought this one would start off, Josh.
Absolutely not. Look at that shoulder pressure from Phil Mulpeter there, and he's got a lot of friction because obviously they're not really sweating that much yet. You can see he's trying to turn Dalby's head with his shoulder. Dalby's resetting now. There's going to be a lot of pressure on Dalby's neck with this position.
And do you think this perhaps belies a deep respect for the striking prowess of Dalby, the fact that we saw Mulpeter, who's known really as a brawler, to go in there so early with the takedown?
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, as you say, we're used to seeing Phil in these slightly more drawn-out slugfest kind of bouts, but this is horrible shoulder pressure for him as he looks to try and pass this position. He's been pretty methodical about it. He has got to watch this kind of reverse wrist grip that Dalby's looking to play here, but I'm surprised we haven't seen Dalby try and explode a little bit more off the bottom. He is staying very calm. He's trying to bide his time here and wait for Mulpeter to try and pass, and then he's going to counter in the process.
As we saw in the Darren Till fight, and as Dan Hardy alluded to, Dalby's known for coming on later in the contest, so perhaps something of a slow start, not to be massively unexpected here.
So they've switched half guard sides now, but that's exactly what we thought. Mulpeter went to move to guard. Dalby saw the opportunity to try and replace a better position for himself. You see he's trying to hip out there, and he does it.
Dalby getting his back on the cage here, looking to stand up.
I love how Mulpeter's crowding him against the cage there, just really making it hard for him to restore his hips underneath himself. Dalby's got to be careful not to give his back here.
Mulpeter staying very tight in these grappling exchanges, Josh.
Yeah, he's not giving him any space. Backed off for a second, but reaping the leg nicely. He's done a good job of stripping all the posts Dalby has had so far.
Very promising start from the Irishman.
Yeah, he's creating a lot of forward pressure here. There's going to be a lot of shoulder pressure going to the chest of Dalby, but he's got this guillotine.
Mulpeter popping his head out. Dalby, is he going to look for a takedown here, or is he going to look to strike on the break?
I mean, I know we call Mulpeter the Honey Badger, but Dalby's not going to go away just because he got out-positioned for the first couple of minutes of this round, but Mulpeter switched him around immediately. Dalby looked for the switch counter, but Mulpeter just changed the angle on him.
And perhaps during camp, the team behind Mulpeter have seen something they think they can exploit in terms of the ground game of Nick Dalby.
We saw it again there. As soon as Dalby created any space, Mulpeter crowded him forward with his hips, and it does really just take away your opponent's ability to easily stand up. It forces him to fall back. Good reversal though.
Good work from Dalby to get out from under the Honey Badger there. Oh, big head kick from Dalby, and a nice combination. He's got Mulpeter shooting for a takedown again there.
Yeah, and if that caught Mulpeter a little bit cleaner, we might be having a different conversation now, but Mulpeter's going to slow it down a little bit here.
And perhaps we see now why Mulpeter's so adamant on the early takedowns here.
Yeah, he's had a lot of very good work, and there is only a minute left in this round, so Nicholas Dalby's going to have to do something decisive to turn it around here. And again, we're seeing up against the cage, Phil Mulpeter is a lot to handle.
Probably one of the most technical performances we've seen from Mulpeter in some time, at least here on Cage Warriors, in terms of the way he's able to control the slightly bigger opponent in Dalby.
Yeah, I mean, look at how he changed the angle on that takedown. He switched and dropped the level to put pressure on the single leg. I mean, it's really nice grappling from Phil Mulpeter so far. Again, he has got to respect the guillotine if Dalby goes for it here with his head on the outside.
Time draining from the clock here in this first round. There was Mulpeter fails on that single leg, and he's given Dalby some space here.
Yeah, 24 seconds left on. That jab found its way through a little too easily.
Locomotivo tuning at the band here, looking to get these striking combinations off.
I wonder if Mulpeter's tired here. He looks a little bit wobbly on his feet.
Oh, head kick there. Didn't get all of it, but he's giving Mulpeter a lot to think about. And Josh, I think he may have hit the nail on the head. A little beleaguered looking Mulpeter at the end of that round.
I mean, look, to transition the way he was doing up against the cage does take a lot of energy, to switch off to the different takedowns, that kind of thing. I mean, this was the first takedown, and he just timed it beautifully. I think he just completely caught Nicholas Dalby unawares. And then he made this position pay for himself. He tried to advance very nicely. He clearly stayed very well connected and very heavy. And we're going to see the switch here. Dalby tried to switch, got caught off balance. And again, Mulpeter just crowds him forward. I mean, they both expended a lot of energy in that round, but I wonder if Mulpeter is a little worse for wear because of it.
Now we saw that nice explosion there from Dalby and a head kick on the end of it. Nice short right hands there. And let's take a look at the shot that appeared to wobble Mulpeter. It was a lancing jab as Dalby stepped forward, and that really did seem to stop Mulpeter in his tracks. Now, whether it rocked him a little bit or whether he was just getting a little bit tired there remains to be seen, but certainly Nicholas Dalby, after being on the back foot for most of that first 5 minutes, has given Mulpeter something to think about here.
Yeah, well, it's Dalby trying to look up with the body lock now. I honestly thought Dalby would hang back a tiny bit, but he clearly senses that he's got the better of Mulpeter in the momentum shift. But that's a beautiful shot from the Irishman. Goes to the back.
And the return to the feet just came a little bit easier in this second round than it did in the first, Josh.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. And it's Dalby with the pressure up against the cage here. I mean, I wonder if he should break away. Strike on the break, pull away. Let's get back to this open range where you can let some of those long limbs fly.
Dalby a master of that question mark kick, and we've seen him throwing the high kicks and low kicks already in this one. And be a real threat when you stand in front of him, but Mulpeter doing a good job, at least up to now in this second round, of not letting Dalby break. Dalby content to wrestle his man in the clinch here, though.
Yeah, that was a good break of distance from Dalby. Mulpeter held on to a wrist grip to stop him the first time.
Nice kick to the body there from Dalby. And again, that straight jab, stopping Mulpeter in his tracks.
I mean, we know Dalby has the cardio to go for 5-5s if he has to, but again, Mulpeter's timing is so good on those takedowns.
Dalby won the title against Sergey Churilov in the championship rounds. That was a head kick knockout in the fourth. We've seen him go 5 rounds with Mohsen Bahari in London in 2014.
Let's see if Mulpeter walks his hips forward again when Dalby tries to sit up.
And Mulpeter not staying quite as heavy on top as he did in that first frame, Josh.
Yeah, Chris Fields in the corner calling for some elbows on top, trying to make the ground and pound pay. But it's everything he can do to for Mulpeter to kind of just maintain this position. He's got a good opportunity for some strikes, though.
Gonna have to be careful of the sweep from Dalby from the bottom, and being so close to the cage might work in Mulpeter's favour there, giving Dalby less room to manoeuvre, but back to his feet in his locomotivo.
As soon as he gave up that underhook.
And now Dalby able to break and get that combination off.
Yeah, this is good from Dalby. He doesn't need to tie up with him. He doesn't need to let the pace slow. Nice straight shot there from Mulpeter, and again looking, oh, there's a switch from Dalby. Yeah, that was what he tried in the first round, and was very successful here, so he's got a good side control. Both knees up here. Still got 2 minutes to work as well, so moving to mount. He's going to try and force Mulpeter to turn over, and watch this wrist grip from Nicholas Dalby as he does. Look at that left wrist. He's going to pull Mulpeter's hand down towards his own belly button to try and expose his neck. This is not the position that Philip Mulpeter wants to be in. Minute and a half to play within the second round for Dalby on top now. Yeah, he switched off to a gift wrap here. See how that right arm of Dalby is coming around, and it's pulling Mulpeter's left arm all the way around his own body. It's going to leave Mulpeter horribly exposed.
Dalby in full mount here. Look for him to rain down some shots as he takes the back.
Oh, looking to go for the Katagatame, the head and arm strangle.
Oh, good inside, Josh. Dalby looking for the big squeeze here. Mulpeter looks fairly relaxed, but how long will that last?
Yeah, he's okay because Dalby can't create the angle he needs. The cage is blocking him. It's going to be very tight, but it's going to take a lot more energy than technique to finish this here.
And how long does Dalby continue the squeeze here before he starts burning his arm out?
There's your answer, Brad. He didn't want to burn his arm out. He just, the cage was stopping him from pivoting, creating a complete perpendicular angle. But again, there's the wrist grip. Look, that right arm coming through to control the other wrist of Phil Mulpeter.
Good period of control here from Dalby, and it's safe to say, Josh, the momentum has swung massively in the favour of the man from Copenhagen.
Yeah, Mulpeter's trying to hold on to the wrist there, or the glove. He's got to be careful not to foul, but it's all, his other arm's completely tied up here, so Dalby's free to rain down with the left hand unless Mulpeter can manage to control it as he's doing now.
And after a couple of dicey moments, it looks like Mulpeter will get out of the second round.
Yeah, he needs to regroup somehow, because that's a strong finish from Nicholas Dalby.
2 rounds in the bag in this welterweight contest. Nicholas Dalby, Philip Mulpeter leaving it all in the cage, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, Dalby's definitely got the momentum shift here, as you see in the replay here, just turning Mulpeter around, striking on the break. I think this was better when he decided he didn't need to tie him up.
Mulpeter again with a great entry on that takedown, but as we said, Josh, the stand-ups came just that little bit easier.
Yeah, here was the takedown from Nicholas Dalby. It's a classic switch, and it would usually be cleaner if your opponent had their head on the outside, but Dalby hit it with such precision and such kind of violence that he was able to completely turn Mulpeter around, and from there it was all one-way traffic for the remainder of the round.
99 problems with a switch, ain't one for Nicholas Dalby as we head into this third and final frame. It's got to be said, Josh, that the momentum shifted, so we saw Mulpeter take the first, Dalby perhaps the second. It could all be to play for in this final 5 minutes. Dalby opening his account with a nice knee up the centre.
Yeah, Mulpeter looking to go up against the cage again. We haven't really seen any striking from him in this bout. Very uncharacteristic for him.
Perhaps pertinent to ask the question then, Josh, could there be an injury preventing Mulpeter throwing those big strikes? He's certainly never shied away from throwing hands previously.
Yes, he's in on this single again. He's going to try and lift the leg up and fire that left shoulder to the ground. It's good completion for him. Can he keep Dalby there, though?
Dalby trying to scramble and get those hips out from underneath Mulpeter.
Yeah, you just watch Mulpeter try and crowd him forward again, though.
What Dalby can't do here is let Mulpeter have these extended periods of control. Lets that momentum swing back in the favour of the Irishman. Dalby back to his feet, but Mulpeter all over him like a rash here, Josh.
Yeah, this is good work from Mulpeter. Dalby doing a good job of not grabbing the cage there, but there we go. He needed that underhook back. Now he can try and pummel and fight this. He's got 100% sweep on that left arm. Oh, full Nelson possibly.
Don't grab that fence. Phil, do not grab that.
And you hear referee Rich Mitchell there warning Mulpeter about trying to grab the fence. As Dalby takes the offensive position, looking to break away surely here and get those hands and feet to work.
Yeah, good short right. That's what
Mulpeter taking them like a champ though as Dalby sprawls.
Yeah, I mean, Mulpeter's not going anywhere. I mean, you've got to knock the guy out cold to put him away. He's going to try that switch again. Heads on the outside, so there you go. Much more successful.
Oh, big knee to the head from Dalby. Very light on his feet. Is the man from Denmark still. Looking to take the back here of Mulpeter and fire those shots underneath the armpits and
good palm
around the guard.
Good palm on the face from Dalby to re-establish range.
Another right hand lands flush on the jaw of Mulpeter, who powers forward.
Wonder if we're going to see a big kick come up the outside in a second.
Great work there from Dalby to control the head in that exchange. There's the kick you talked about, Josh. Dalby looking for an uppercut.
Yeah, this is just the fatigue from Phil Mulpeter is going to kill him in these takedown attempts now. You hear the corner telling him, do not accept that position.
Well, Peter's going to be very careful of the right uppercut when he shoots in.
Yeah, all the knee. Dalby's shown he's going to throw that left knee.
Oh, there's the uppercut from Dalby. And the knee. Yeah, one of each. Why not? Dalby looking to keep that momentum shift in his favour.
His pace is relentless. You heard Dan say in the video trailer that you know, Mulpeter needs to turn this into a war, but it's Dalby making this a scrap right now.
This about everything we expected. Neither of these men fight for points. They always leave it all in the cage. Oh, it's a big pair of right hands from Dalby. Rich Mitchell taking a close look and it's over. Nicholas Dalby with a big finish in the third round. Unbelievable. Nicholas Dalby with his trademark celebration. What a finish from the sharpshooter. What a performance from both these guys, Josh.
It really was. You can't take anything away from both guys. I think, you know, we'll see in the replays here, Mulpeter kept shooting, but Dalby he was able to establish the range and he just went to town when he saw the fatigue setting in on Phil Mulpeter.
Tripling up, quadrupling up with the right hand there. And a great call, for my money, by referee Rich Mitchell to step in. Nicholas Dalby is back in title contention here at Cage Warriors.
Yeah, absolutely good stoppage from the referee. Mulpeter was out on his feet, he really was. He was turning away. Took 3 or 4 consistent shots as well.
Locomotivo, absolutely relentless. Got the gift of his firstborn child earlier this year. But as second place goes, I'm sure that's another fantastic gift for Nicholas Dalby as he looks to end his 2018 on a high. And we throw this one to our MC, Mr. Andy Friedlander in the cage, and he will make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cardiff, referee Rich Mitchell calls a stop to that contest at 3 minutes and 32 seconds of round number 3, declaring the winner by TKO, Nicholas Locomotivo Dalby.
Nicholas Dalby with another big win here at Cage Warriors. He joins my broadcast colleague, Josh Palmer.
I'm here with our winner, Nicholas Dalby. Nicholas, I'm going to tell you, a lot of people were very excited about this bout, and from my position, that certainly lived up to the hype. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling awesome right now. It took me some time to get the boilers running on full steam tonight, but once I was 100%, I made sure to finish.
Yeah, well, you got it going. Let's take a look up at the screen here, and you can see the flurry that finished him. I think it was 4 right hands?
Yeah, something like that. I didn't really count while the fight was on. I actually think I didn't break it, but it felt like I broke my hand at one point, but he's got a hard skull, that's for sure.
Did it surprise you that the opening stanza straight away, he came out and he took you straight to the ground? Did it surprise you that was his game plan?
Yeah, maybe in the moment we prepared for that, but yeah, I laid out to do something specific in the opening of the fight, and he just went for something completely different, and he got me down.
It seemed like there was a very definite momentum shift in the fight where you suddenly went, okay, I can get on top here and I can start upping the volume. Did you feel that in the cage?
I can't remember any specific point, but yeah, I know I got cardio for days, so once I felt like I'd be able to do that, I did it.
So, this is a couple of fantastic wins for you, a couple of great stoppages. What's next for you?
I know there's a guy called Rush Houston. He's got my belt, so if he wants to be a man, he should put it on the line in Copenhagen, March 9th.
I'm down for that. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Nicholas Dalby.
Nicholas Dalby calling out current welterweight world champion Ross Houston for a fight that he wants in Copenhagen, an emphatic win over a very resilient Mulpeter. Stay with us for more action on this very special Cage Warriors 100 show. Next up, the classic contrast in styles. Foss takes on Aaron Khalid. It's Cage Warriors 100. Now it's over to our commentators Josh Palmer and Brad Wharton.
Well, Josh, that was a bout that we both mentioned was perhaps one of the most hyped up, one of the most talked about, and it's always good to see it live up to billing. Everything we expected from these two, just no quarter given, none asked for, and everything left in the cage.
Nobody took a step back for a second, nobody slowed down for a second. I mean, they were just absolutely relentless, both of them. Phil Mulpeter, maybe didn't take Nicholas Dalby by surprise, took me by surprise that was his game plan, and that he went for the grappling approach. And that first round was perfect for him. I mean, if he could have perhaps kept the cardio going a bit more and replicated that, he could have definitely had success there. But Nicholas Dalby's so dangerous when he builds up a head of steam. He is a late starter sometimes, and that's evidence today.
Well, yeah, we talked about it before, that locomotive or nickname, absolutely perfect for the way Nick Dalby fights. He just called out Ross Houston for March 9th in Copenhagen. So Cage Warriors with a busy start to the year, and that's one of our first dates we've got in 2019. That's going to be a pretty decent main event if that one can be put together by the Cage Warriors team.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, I think it's a good clash there. Again, Dalby would look to stay on the outside and just strike the way he's always done. He'd have the support of the home crowd. It'd be great if we could do that. But there's a lot of people in this welterweight division lining up. It's a strong division in the Cage Warriors roster.
Well, we've got two more welterweights coming up in just a moment's time. Hook and Foss taking on Aaron Khalid. Real striker versus grappler contest, Josh.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and I can't wait to see who's going to come on top for this. Both guys really kind of need a good win here.
Hook and Foss, Aaron Khalid in the welterweight division, and it's coming up next at Cage Warriors 100.
Dean got a lot of experience, he got a lot of fights, he's been around a long time, but it's the skills that win the fights, and I've got the skills, and I'll be showing that on the night.
And there's the submission!
Aidan Lee, from what I've seen, he's very good technically. I don't think his striking or his wrestling's anywhere near my level. I don't think Aidan will like to be in a scrap like my last two fights have been, so I'll look to put him there.
The last guy said he's going to take me to deep water, he's all this, let's bang. I don't need to talk crap because I'll show him my performances. You can't tough out a knockout or a submission. Getting finished is getting finished, you can't tough that out.
I don't think he's TKO'd anyone ever. I can only see one result, and that's me getting my hand raised with the belt around my waist.
I feel like I'm the best featherweight in Europe. I'll fight any featherweight in Cage Warriors, and I feel like I'll dominate. I'm too young, too fit, too sharp, too good.
That to come up later on tonight. You've just missed an emphatic win by Nicholas Dalby over Phil Mulpeter. An incredibly resilient performance from the Honey Badger there.
It was very resilient. World-class fighter. I mean, he was so sharp, he was so accurate with his shots. I think, we need to see him contend for the title now. Immediate call out of Ross Houston, that's a hell of a fight.
And do you think that's a fair call out now?
Absolutely, for sure. We know Nicholas Dalby's proven himself at the top level of the sport. To give Ross the opportunity to prove himself against Dalby skyrockets his profile as well. I think both benefit.
We saw Ross Houston stand up at the end of that fight and head towards Nicholas Dalby. I don't know to congratulate him or already begin the story for the next fight in Copenhagen. Who knows? But that'll be an exciting matchup for sure. Now coming up next, we have Hook and Foss versus Aaron Khalid. Is this going to be a clash of styles?
Absolutely it is, yeah. Hook and Foss is going to try and keep on the outside. He'll look for opportunities to fly in with jumping knees and stuff, as we saw against Jack Mason. But ultimately, Aaron Khalid wants to get to his back. I mean, he's a strangulation expert. He's got 2 rear naked chokes he's coming off. I think ultimately he's going to try and get this fight to the ground as quickly as possible and stay away from the sharp elbows and knees of Hook and Foss.
So is Foss going to have to rely on his striking as well today?
I think that's the best thing to do. If he starts to tangle with Aaron Khalid on the floor, it gets very complicated because Khalid's very slick. He kind of lures you into a false sense of security and then he jumps on you. Whereas, Hook and Foss he's a very creative striker. He throws the kitchen sink at his opponent, and oftentimes they can't stand it.
Well, in the welterweight division, it's Hook and Foss versus Welshman Aaron Khalid. Norwegian Håkon Foss comes to Wales in confident mood after an impressive performance in Gothenburg, having dismantled tough Essex veteran Jack Mason with his knee strikes. But Foss can be vulnerable himself and notably was knocked out by the heavy hitting of Jamie Richardson. Tonight though, Foss faces a different problem in the shape of Aaron Khalid's heavy grappling style. But he's confident he has the answers.
I got ferocious power in my striking. When I hit him, he's going down. I'm gonna stop his takedown, defend his submission attempts, then I'm gonna knock him out.
Cardiff's Khalid got his career back on track last time out, ironically enough by submitting Jamie Richardson. A win over Foss tonight could be a significant step forward for the Welshman's future ambition.
A great performance tonight is going to show everyone that I could be a future Cage Warriors champion. Håkon Foss is a dangerous striker, he's good knees, good elbows, good judo, but I'm going to neutralise all that and just put the pressure on him and get him out there.
When I win this fight, I'm going to call out Ross Houston. He couldn't finish Aaron Khalid, but I will.
It's Håkon Foss versus Aaron Khalid, with plenty at stake for both fighters.
All killer, no filler here in Cardiff for Cage Warriors 100, where we move next to the welterweight division. Please welcome both of these young fighters as they make their way into the cage. First up, hailing from Oslo in Norway, he is Håkon Foss.
Right back to the action here at Cage Warriors. We've just had one incredible welterweight contest. We may well be set for another here.
There's a man
as we move towards our two incredible world title bouts and looking to put on a show and establish a firm footing on the Cage Warriors welterweight ladder, Josh, is this man, Håkon Foss.
Yeah, and I think that's a good way of looking at it. He needs to establish a bit of a firmer footing. He joined Cage Warriors in 2017. He's had a little bit of a rough start, it has to be said, to his career with us. His overall record is 9 wins and 5 losses. And although, he had a bit of trouble early on, he bounced back with a really good round 1 win over Jack Mason at Cage Warriors 93 in March. Really the story of this guy is he's a very comprehensive striker. He's very long, very rangy, and he does throw knees and elbows in with the punches. Just creates a whole different set of angles. Now, of course, the most dangerous time for a guy trying to take you down is when he's closing the distance and you meet those knees, you meet those elbows. So, going to be interesting to see how this one plays out.
Yeah, last time Håkon Foss let the knees go, we got a bit of a viral sensation out of it. One of the most gruesome injuries we've ever seen here. Well, not just here at Cage Warriors, pretty much in the entirety of MMA. So really illustrating how dangerous the man from Frontline Academy in Oslo, Norway is as he undergoes final preparations at the Echendu prep point.
Yeah, he's also, look, he's pretty fast out of the gate as well. So this opening round is going to be interesting to see what happens, how much time his opponent backs off before trying to close.
As we said, Josh, he's coming off that spectacular stoppage win against Jack Mason, Cage Warriors 93 last April. No stranger to high-level European opposition, a teammate of UFC's Jack the Joker Hermansson. Also got former Cage Warriors title challenger Mohsen Bahari in the corner with him tonight.
Till Armageddon, no shalom.
Looking to take another step up the ladder in the stacked Cage Warriors welterweight division, Håkon Foss.
The wise men will bow down before the throne, and at his feet they'll cast their golden crown.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, hailing from Cardiff in Wales, it is Aaron King Khalid.
I didn't believe he'd actually do it, but Aaron Khalid ran a Facebook competition earlier this week to let fans pick his walkout music, and the Venga Boys won, and he's actually walking out in the ice arena to the Venga Boys. Credit to Aaron Khalid. And Josh, joking aside, this is a guy who's been on a real journey with us here at Cage Warriors.
Yeah, he has. This is actually the 6th time we're going to see him tonight. 3 wins and 2 losses in his Cage Warriors debut. He's been around a lot longer. He made his pro debut all the way back in 2013. He's got an overall record of 8 wins and 4 losses. And you know what? Outside of those back-to-back losses, both of which to our current champion, Ross Houston, he's unbeaten since 2014, and he's coming off that round 1 win over Jamie Richardson back at Cage Warriors 97. He's never been stopped. He's never been knocked out. He is immensely tough, and he's beaten some very, very experienced opponents.
Well, the Venga bus is indeed coming as Aaron Khalid goes through final preparations here at the ISO Sport Prep Point. And Josh, we talked about it before, the Cage Warriors welterweight division has always been pretty great, and now it may be at its strongest ever. How much does that mean these guys have to go that little bit extra to make some noise and get noticed in this division?
Yeah, it really does. I mean, you've got Dalby calling out the champ. You've got Alex Lahore waiting in the wings calling out the champ. I mean, people are clamouring for stuff in this division, and, you know, you've got to set yourself apart.
Aaron Khalid looking to set himself apart tonight here at the Ice Arena. We'd love to hear your predictions for this contest, and indeed our 2 world title bouts coming up shortly. Use the hashtag CW100 and join in the conversation on social media. Tale of the tape for this welterweight contest. 32 years old, the senior in this contest is Foss. At 25 is Aaron Khalid. Khalid 2 inches shorter at 6 feet tall, bringing in the 8-4-1 record against Foss's 9-5-0 ledger. And it's Aaron Khalid, the ever so slight bookmaker's favourite. Without further ado, let's throw this to our MC in the cage, Mr. Andy Friedlander.
Coming now, 3 rounds in the Cage Warriors welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist and Muay Thai fighter. He boasts a professional record of 9 wins, 5 losses. Standing 6 feet 2 inches tall, he weighed in at 169.2 pounds. Fighting out of Oslo, Norway, Håkan Doden Foss. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist and submission fighter with a professional record of 8 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw. Standing 6 feet tall, he weighed 170.6 pounds. Hailing from Cardiff, Wales, Aaron King Khalid. And when the action begins, the referee in charge, Mark Goddard.
Referee Mark Goddard just with some final instructions as Edith LaBelle gets us underway here at Cage Warriors 100. 3 5-minute rounds if they need them in the Cage Warriors welterweight division. Aaron Khalid in the blue, Håkan Foss in the black with grey trim.
And let's see how Khalid closes the distance here and tries to protect himself on the way in. He's eaten a couple of good jabs early.
Foss already looking to make his man pay for stepping into that pocket.
And Foss said he's going to stuff the takedown and then make him pay. So, you know, he knows it's coming and he knows Khalid's going to have to close somehow. It's just a question of when and off the back of what.
Aaron Khalid not letting himself be outdone in the striking department here. He's thrown a few good shots early in this contest. Foss looking to get those legs to work now, though.
Yeah, kicks checked well by Khalid. I mean, look, he's obviously got to do enough to, you know, he can't just come out and shoot straight on the legs and be that predictable. He's got to mix it up here, but there we go. Close the distance, running on the single, body lock now. They've got good judo at the Mat Academy where he trains. Let's see if he looks to step inside here.
Training with the likes of Cage Warriors veteran Lou Long in the past. And a good period of control here from Khalid, just slowing the momentum of Håkan Foss down a little bit here, Josh.
Yeah, and again, if he can grind on him, wear him down, make him carry weight, it just takes a bit of zip out of the punches, but it takes time to do that. You know, it takes going into later rounds.
Both men striking on the break here.
Close your fingers.
And you hear referee Mark
Backhand,
Goddard
close
there
your hands.
asking, I believe it was Hook and Foss, to keep the fingers closed. You cannot extend your fist in a forward motion without having your fingers closed. And Hook and Foss mixing things up here.
Yeah, well, he's got Khalid flinching and backing up a little bit. You notice some of the head movement of Khalid has gone straight away here.
There's a nice body shot there from Hook and Foss as well. They're talking to each other in the cage now. Oh, big right hand from Khalid. Foss takes it like a champ and fires back.
Yeah, switching his stance around a little bit.
Another spinning back kick, didn't land cleanly there from Hook and Foss. The Norwegian looking very calm and confident on the feet here.
Yeah, he knows he has an advantage in this area. You know, it's not unfair to say that. And you know, he's trying to really make it pay, play a bit of mind games. He's going up top and down to the kicks very well as well.
And it's not to say that Aaron Khalid is as heavy-handed a striker as Jamie Richardson, but we did see Hook and Foss get caught in a wild striking exchange by Richardson, so he's not infallible on the feet here, Josh.
Not at all. He's got to be calculated in the way he does it. There we go. Telegraph takedown a little bit, just kind of ducked his head, didn't really change level too much with his lower body. It meant that it was very easy for Hook and Foss to get the underhooks in, and he's the one with the strong position here.
Khalid surely
Let's do something there.
looking to spin his way out of the cage here, and you heard Mark Goddard just warning the fighters for a little bit of passivity here. He's going to want to see some action if he's going to let them keep this position.
Guys, let's go to work there. Let's make it happen.
Well, Foss obliging, looking to throw his man off of the cage there, but they separate. And now it's back in Hook and Foss's wheelhouse, the centre of the cage.
Yeah, we've
got all that room to move around Aaron Khalid.
We've seen Foss do damage in body lock positions before with throws, but you know, keeping the centre of the cage here, pushing forward. It's the right amount of aggression for him at the moment, I think, to keep. When see, look, Khalid didn't set anything up. He's so far on the outside. I think he's really worried here by some of the strikes from Hook and Foss.
He's going to have to be very careful making entries like that. We know how good Foss is at countering those sloppy takedown shots.
Oh, well, Foss has got caught in a headlock here and he's been ragged to the ground. But he should be able to get back up to his feet here, and he's got a dogfight position if he can. But Khalid's re-establishing nicely.
Oh, Khalid just failed to get the grip on the neck there.
He looked for a standing Darce choke as they came back up. And this is where Khalid needs to work. Unfortunately, he's only got 20 seconds to do it. He's got the hands connected. Big pickup. And that's where he's the most powerful.
Perhaps not too many points on the board from that final takedown, but it's certainly giving Hook and Foss something to think about here, Josh. He's not had it all his own way in this first round.
I think it's going to solidify what he knows already and what his game plan already is. But you know, I expect maybe we'll start to see him timing those knees up the middle. If Khalid's going to try and take down like that, it's going to cause him problems.
Let's take a look at some of the action here from this first round. It's a beautiful piercing jab from Hook and Foss there that found its way through the guard.
Yeah, turned him with a good couple of low kicks as well a few times. There we see him going to the head and then a spinning back kick off it.
Doing just enough to keep Khalid on the back foot in a lot of these striking exchanges, but the Welshman landing a good overhand right there. Certainly giving Foss something to think about on the feet at least, if not something to worry about. Interesting first round there, Josh.
Yeah, good round for the Norwegian. I definitely think the judges are going to go that way on the scorecards. But, you know, we'll still to play for 2 rounds in it. Khalid, you've seen, he just needs to get hold of Hook and Foss. And he can swing this one around.
And we just caught on a shot there on the broadcast. The referee just asking for Foss to be toweled off a little bit there. A bit too much water for Mark Goddard's liking before we get back underway. Khalid trying to open things up with a nice left there, doubling up on it.
Yeah, a couple of good hooks over the top.
Looking to crack back is Foss. Oh, Foss loading up on the strikes a little bit more here in the second round, Josh.
Yeah, threw himself off balance a little bit with that one.
2 world title fights yet to come here at Cage Warriors 100. Dean Truman, Aidan Lee, and of course the big one, Mike Echendu, Jack Shaw for the bantamweight title, our main event tonight.
That was a good right hand from Khalid. You know, Foss has got to realise he can't get too sloppy and have it all his own way. But Khalid is just standing in front of him here at this point.
And again, Khalid with 2 big shots, and the crowd coming to life a bit now here in the Viola Arena.
I think that's going to build some confidence for him, and that's going to help open up the takedowns. There we go again.
Big shot from Khalid. He's got Foss right here. Big knee in the middle. Foss fighting back. Oh, more big shots, and he's chasing Foss down just like Jamie Richardson did.
Yeah, I think Khalid's, you know, he knows he's in this one. And there we go, and it opened up the takedown because he ceased being worried at all about the striking of Foss. As soon as he landed, he was able to open everything else up, and this is his now for 3 minutes. Keep the pressure on.
Oh, he's got that arm round the neck, looking to sink the choke in. It's the big squeeze. Foss trying to fight it. Is there any way out from this position, Joe? He's found it.
Yeah, he managed to get his back to the mat. Saved him on the rotation, just kind of freed the grip slightly, but he's still got 3 minutes to deal with this here. Darce choke. He's sprawling on it. He's going to squeeze as hard as he can, and if he turns him over...
Surely now.
Oh, this is
over.
This is problems for Hakan Foss.
Mark Goddard right on top of the action. It's over. Oh, Hakan Foss protesting there. Mark Goddard said he was out. We'll have to see if we can pick something out of the replays for this one, Josh. Mark Goddard checked the arm there and came to the determination that Hakan Foss was out.
Let's take a look at the replay. So he sits down, uses it to break the posture, and then he sprawls on it. What he's doing is bringing that right arm up in the neck and driving the left shoulder of Hakan Foss into his neck. Now what's difficult for... Yeah, I can understand why Mark Goddard...
Yeah, that arm was limp. That arm was limp.
It's tough because Hakan Foss can't afford to move the arm because it puts him in a worse position. But that looks completely limp from Mark Goddard's perspective.
Yeah, it's the referee's job to protect the fighters, and that means sometimes erring on the side of caution. That arm looks as limp as you're going to see. And
but then
Foss immediately appears to be conscious as the choke is released. That doesn't mean he necessarily wasn't out when the referee checked the arm, but a very, very difficult one to pick apart here. Regardless, it's going to go down as a technical submission win for Aaron Khalid. Hakan Foss clearly frustrated with the finish there. And we will throw this one to our MC, Andy Friedlander, in the cage.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Goddard calls a stop to this contest at 2 minutes and 18 seconds of round number 2, declaring the winner by technical submission, Aaron King Khalid.
Big win for Aaron Khalid, and he will join my broadcast partner, Josh Palmer, in the cage.
I'm here with our winner, Aaron Khalid. Aaron, give us your thoughts on that one, because you had to come through a little bit of adversity on the feet, perhaps, to get it to the ground.
I wasn't too worried in the first round. He was like dictating the pace, but he wasn't landing clean. But then in the second round, I knew I lost that first because of in pressure. So I knew I had to put it on him, catch him, and take him down. Exactly what I did.
Talk us through the finish. If you can look up at the screen here, it was a really nice Darce choke that you rolled him over on. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I'm really good at the Darces. Get him all the time in training, so once I knew he was locked in that position right there, I knew I got him. He wasn't going to get out or anything. I knew I had him.
I know you finished it on the ground, but you caught him a few times standing up and had him wobbled in the second there.
Yeah, that's like I think that's the first time I've wobbled someone in a fight. So I kind of didn't know what to do. I went to the body, then kind of just let him recover. She put it on him next time.
This is a big division. There's a lot of guys in it. What's next in the welterweight division for you?
So I'm going to take a break December now. So my leg needs sorting out.
and whoever they tell me to fight, I'll fight. I need to get anyone in this division.
And what about this crowd here? Because it's all at home in Wales here.
Oh, yeah, support's amazing. I love it. I get everyone that thanks me, supports me. We listen to them. It's amazing. It's incredible.
Well, we'll let you go take your December off, and then we'll get you busy again. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Aaron Khalid.
Aaron Khalid sends the home fans here in Cardiff's Viola Arena wild with a fantastic win. Stick with us because it's co-main event time and a real battle in the Royale prospect. Dean Truman takes on Aidan Lee in the final of the Cage Warriors featherweight tournament with the vacant belt on the line. And now it's back over to our commentary team.
Well, Josh, a perhaps controversial ending to that contest. If we just think back to what we saw there, it was an anaconda choke, I believe, from Aaron Khalid, and it appeared for all intents and purposes that when the referee checked Foss's arm, it went limp. Talk us through how you saw the finish to that one.
So look, it was a good dance choke. It was very nicely set up. He rolled him over, broke the posture nicely. What he needed to really put him out was a bit more rotational pressure. He sprawled out on him. You don't quite get the full compression with that. But look, the thing with those Katagatame head and arm chokes is if you're stuck in one, it's very hard to get out, and you can't afford to move your arm that much. You've got to stay relatively still because the slightest change in angle can really shut you down. And it's very easy to understand why when Mark Goddard grabbed his arm, he couldn't afford to just wave it around and move it. So I can sympathize with him from that perspective. But from the referee's perspective, I mean, it looked, you know, you can understand. You really can.
Absolutely. Well, let's put the controversy to bed for 1 second then. A pretty good performance for all intents and purposes from Aaron Khalid in terms of the fact that he not only held his own on the feet with Foss, actually got a few good digs of his own there on the feet, and when it got to the ground, when he got it to his wheelhouse, looked exactly as good as we expected him to.
Yeah, I think it was a good confidence builder on the feet for him. You could kind of see when he knew. He came out in the second with just a total different perspective in the way he was striking. So, you know, good fight for him, and lots for him to fight in this division.
Well, the welterweight division is on fire at the moment, and another division which is not too far behind it is the featherweights. We've got Dean Truman, we've got Aidan Lee, the culmination of the world title tournament, and it's coming up right now.
This is Cage Warriors 100, celebrating the anniversary of a centenary. Foss with a loss there to Aaron Khalid, which made the Cardiff crowd go wild. I'm rejoined by Cage Warriors President Graham Boylan and UFC's Dan Hardy. Dan, we saw Foss protesting there. Tell us, was that the right call?
It absolutely was the right call. I mean, from our perspective, his legs were limp, and when Mark Goddard checked the arm as well, there was no resistance in the arm. The thing is, as soon as that choke's released, the oxygen rushes back to the brain, and you're aware, but you're not necessarily sure exactly what's happened. You've got to trust the referees in those circumstances.
Absolutely. Now, Graham, we are building up to our co-main event, the finale of a tournament. The tournament's been fantastic success. Is that a format we might see more of in the future?
We love tournaments. We like tournaments that we can put up for belts, but it depends on the division. It depends if there's a vacant belt. And it also depends if there's 4, maybe 6 guys that we can put in for that tournament. It comes down to if there's a front horse, if there's one guy there, and we got to find a challenger, it's easier. But if there's nobody at the front, there's nobody running away with that calling, this is my belt, then it's a tournament format all the way.
So with the right ingredients, we might see that happen again. Now, the next fight coming up, Dean Truman versus Aidan Lee. Am I right in thinking they're not going to spend the first round sounding each other out, are they?
No, I don't think so. I mean, both of these guys are aggressive anyway. Aidan Lee gets in the cage like he knows exactly what he wants to do. He approaches the fight like he's got a game plan and sticks to it until he gets the finish. Dean Truman's very aggressive, likes to start fast as well. And both of these guys, you know, they've watched their previous fights. They've been following each other in the tournament because they've been potential opponents. So these guys know each other very well. They've done their research. It's just a case from throwing down now and seeing who's the champion.
For viewers who haven't seen the entire tournament, how did these two match up?
I think they match up great. You know, Aiden is going to be looking for some kind of crazy submission. He throws up anything from anywhere, he'll go for it. And Dean, for me, Dean is just a brawler. Dean will come out and throw punches from anywhere. He's got one of the fastest knockouts in Cage Warriors to date, I believe, like 8-9 seconds. It was in Cardiff.
Yeah.
It was in Wales, yeah. So maybe he comes back again tonight.
Well, time now for the co-main event. For the featherweight belt, it's Dean Truman versus Aiden Lee. Co-main event is the culmination of the Cage Warriors featherweight tournament and pitches Derbyshire tough guy Dean Truman against Birmingham stylist Aiden Lee for the vacant belt.
To win the Cage Warriors featherweight world title right now for me in my career is everything. It's the pinnacle of the sport in Europe.
Featherweight belt's historic in Cage Warriors history. You know, we've had Conor McGregor hold the belt, Nad Narimani, big names that have gone on to the UFC, and I'm looking forward to having my name in history.
Truman got to the final by dominating Lewis Monarch, where he showed both his well-rounded fighting ability and his love of a terror.
Superman punch off the cage from Truman!
At his best, Truman has the firepower and grit to trouble most fighters at 145 pounds.
I'm going to beat Aiden Lee because I'm going to do what I've done in my last few fights. Put it on him, be aggressive, and just beat him wherever the fight is.
Lee is a protege of Birmingham UFC star Tom Breeze at the outstanding Renegade Gym. He's noted for his high-class jiu-jitsu skills, which proved too much for Scotland's Paul McBain in the tournament semi-final.
I'm the best featherweight in Europe, and I'm dominant in all areas. I'll outstrike him or outgrapple him, and if we go to a decision, then I'll beat him on decision as well.
He's got very good jiu-jitsu, but I think in the areas I need to beat him, I'm better than him.
Dean's looking for a scrap. You can't scrap with someone that you can't hit.
100% going to batter him.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the co-main event of the evening at Cage Warriors 100. Please welcome both of these men as they make their way into the cage to compete in 5 rounds for the vacant Cage Warriors featherweight title. Walking in first, hailing from Derbyshire in England, he is Dean Truman.
Put your confidence in us. We're back here at Cage Warriors 100, and Josh almost had to check the notes here again, because when you realise that this is just the co-main event of tonight's card, it really does speak to how incredibly stacked and loaded tonight's bill has been. We've seen some incredible action, and it doesn't look like it's about to let up one bit, because we're about to see 2 of the most fast-paced all-action featherweights on the European circuit going head-to-head. And making his way to the cage first is this man, Dean Truman.
Yeah, neither of these guys waste much time. Dean Truman getting the job done early, usually. Has an overall record of 9 wins, 4 losses, 4 of those wins coming by TKO. He's won 5 of his last 6 fights. He's been around the game a very long time. He made his debut all the way back in 2011. Add to that, you got the experience of Cage Warriors vet Jimmy Wallhead in his corner there from Team Roughhouse. You know, he's just a good all-rounder. He's carrying unbelievable confidence. You know, he said he was going to win this from the start, and so far he hasn't been wrong.
Absolutely. I mean, he told us earlier in the week that he's honoured not just to be fighting on this milestone 100 card. He's honoured to be fighting for the Cage Warriors featherweight title, which he said in the MMA world is a massive, massive belt. You saw him listing off the names of the likes of Conor McGregor and Nad Narimani, Paddy Pimblett. These holders of this belt in the past have all gone on to do so much, and Dean Truman thinks that he is the next man to follow in their footsteps.
Yeah, if you had to level some form of criticism, perhaps, it's that, you know, he went to a decision to beat Lewis Monarch, but that's not really criticism. You know, Aiden Lee, you know, won by submission. But other than that, Dean Truman, you know, he has got a great shot to cement himself here as the new champ.
Dean Truman walking out of the Isosport prep point for his shot at the Cage Warriors featherweight world title.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome as he makes his walk into the Cardiff cage. He is from Birmingham. He is Aiden Lee.
Now, Josh, a couple of years ago, I was sat in the lobby of the Cage Warriors Hotel with a bunch of fighters, coaches and trainers from the Midlands, and they told me about this young lad who was just at the end of his amateur career and about to make his debut as a pro, and they told me to keep an eye on him for the next few years, and that young man was Aiden Lee, and certainly coming good on the promise of the past few years here at Cage Warriors.
Yeah, and it really has been here at Cage Warriors. He's had 9 professional fights, 7 of them so far have been in this division. This is his 8th tonight. He's been very, very good with us. 5-2 is his record with Cage Warriors, 7-2 overall. All of those wins have come by stoppage, 4 of them by submission, 3 rear naked chokes as well. Like, if this guy gets on your back or gets you on the ground, he is an absolute handful. His submission game is so dynamic, but we've seen him build in, a greater arsenal lately. We saw him with that heel hook win at Cage Warriors 80 last year. He stopped the undefeated Paul McBain in the semi-final at Cage Warriors 98 to get here tonight. I mean, this guy on the ground is really fun to watch.
He trains under UFC middleweight and Cage Warriors veteran Tom Brees at Team Renegade in the Midlands, who have been doing fantastic things for MMA in their part of the country. And as you said, stopped Paul McBain in what really was not so much an upset, but the fact that he stopped Paul McBain was the story of that contest. As McBain, known for being tough as nails prior to that, as Aiden Lee walks down to the ISO Sport prep point and into the cage, he will face Dean Truman for the Cage Warriors World Featherweight title. It's time for our tale of the tape for this featherweight title clash. 23 years old is Aiden Lee the Junior, 29 is Dean Truman. Truman slightly shorter at 5'10", to Lee's 6 feet tall. Truman slightly more experienced at 9-4-0, 7-2-0 is the record for Aiden Lee. It's Aiden Lee who was the ever so slight bookmaker's favourite. As we throw this one to our MC in the cage, Mr. Andy Freelander.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the co-main event of the evening, brought to you by ISO Sport. 5 rounds for the vacant Cage Warriors featherweight title. Scoring this fight, our 3 cage-side judges are Dave Leatherby, Ben Cartledge and Mark Collette. And when the action begins, the referee in charge, Rich Mitchell. Coming live from the Viola Arena in Cardiff, in the passionate city and the passionate country of Wales. This is Cage Warriors 100, and we have the world watching. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 9 wins, 4 losses. Standing 5 feet 10 inches tall, he weighed in at 144 pounds. Fighting out of Derbyshire, England, Dean Truman. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a submission fighter and mixed martial artist boasting a professional record of 7 wins, 2 losses. Standing 6 feet tall, he weighed in exactly on the limit of 145 pounds. Fighting out of Birmingham, England, Aiden Lee.
Gentlemen, center please. Gentlemen, you are going to protect yourselves at all times. You are going to keep fighting until I tell you to stop. Now touch gloves, step all the way back.
Final instructions from referee Rich Mitchell there. As the lovely Edith LaBelle gets us underway. 5-minute rounds if they need them in the Cage Warriors featherweight division for the big gold belt.
Bear with me, gents.
Aiden Lee in the black, Dean Truman in the blue with black trim. Touch of gloves and we are underway. Josh, we've been talking about this one all day and we cannot pick a winner between us.
No, we cannot. Truman opening up with a leg kick, throwing himself a little bit off balance. It's a southpaw stance for Aiden Lee. Good straight shots from him.
Couple of big punches to open his account there from Dean Truman. Truman, one of the fastest knockouts in Cage Warriors history, just 9 seconds, I believe, against Arnold Quiro. Nice straight left hand there from the southpaw Aiden Lee. Lee switching stance now, very fluid on the feet and the ground is Aiden Lee.
Yeah, I just like the way he moves in general, to be quite honest. Fluid's a great way to describe it. He's in on this single here. but he's eating a few short shots on the inside. Great base so far from Truman.
You see Judo Jim Wallhead, a legend of Cage Warriors, the roughhouse days in the corner of Dean Truman.
Good work from Truman to make that position pay, but he's given up the double leg.
Don't grab that fence!
And we expected to see this contest fall in perhaps close quarters.
Yeah,
both men known for great transitions and scrambles, Josh.
Yeah, Lee wasn't going to let that body lock go, and he's got on the back here.
Oh, Lee, looking to finish things early.
Truman has got to fight the grips here. He cannot let both arms of Aiden Lee go to work. Well, he's going to look to stretch him out here, is Lee, if he can break him forward off this, pushes off the cage. What he's had to do is give up that left hook, though, so Truman's got opportunities to block the left hook again. Well, he doesn't. Body triangle now.
Oh, beautiful stuff from Aiden Lee here. Truman cut above the right eye there, Josh, as well.
Yeah, this is his wheelhouse. He's got that right arm all the way deep. Dean Truman's got to strip the top hand. He does. It's all about wrist fighting at that point.
Truman survives that first attempt from Aiden Lee, but there's 2.5 minutes on the clock.
It's such a long time to give a guy like Aiden Lee time to work on your back. He's got the body triangle as well, which is only going to exasperate the situation for Truman. He's got to turn hard to his right here and put the lock side on the ground to at least start putting some pressure on the lock.
If there's a guy you think might be able to tough it out, you'd pick Dean Truman. He's known for his gutsy performances. But with 2 minutes still on the clock, might it be a big ash, Josh?
Yeah, look how quick Aiden Lee goes to the collarbone with that right hand. But, you know, it's hard to do it, to choke someone with one arm there. You've got to get the left involved as well. And it becomes a fight, without being able to trap an arm with your leg, it's a fight for how fast can each one of you get to that hand. And Truman's been fast enough so far.
Lee again looking to get that grip around the neck as he steps over, puts all his weight on Truman now, maintains the body triangle.
I mean, if he pins him face down here or in this kind of heavy hip position, it's a big ground and pound wouldn't go amiss.
Look for the big shots in the elbows here from Lee, but again Truman rolls his man over, and again Lee looks to get a grip around the neck. Truman having to fight the hands here, Josh.
Yeah, again he's going to that initial hand. If he loses that hand, he's got to fight the second arm. It's good wrist control from Lee. He switched to the other side. Truman keeping everything tucked very nicely, though. I mean, it's going to be a huge moral win for him if he can see this round out, even in the adversity of this position.
And perhaps having a substantial psychological impact on Aiden Lee if Truman is able to fight his way out of this one.
Yeah, quite possibly. And Aiden Lee's still going to hold on to the back here. He almost gave up the position. I'd like to see him perhaps strike a little bit more, try and lift the head of Truman with the strikes. But he's done he's staying so busy with the hands that Truman hasn't been able to even think about this body lock grip.
Don't grab the glove, don't grab the glove.
Looking on intently from their respective corners. And this really is a game of inches in this first round. Truman successfully defended here for a couple of minutes and got himself out of some very, very tight spots, Josh.
Yeah, he's done a great job so far. You can hear his corner telling him to turn towards him. That's to try and break the grip on the legs. Good round for Aiden Lee.
First round in the books here at Cage Warriors 100, our co-main event for the featherweight title.
I'll tell you, Dean Truman leapt up and said it's nothing.
Let's take a look at Aiden Lee taking the back here up against the cage and using the cage to push off there.
Well, he used the cage to flip him over and break his posture again here. A really nice awareness. I mean, this was a good chance he had to flatten him on top. But he spun him over, and he was just never quite able to get both hands. He gets such a good grip a couple of times, right high up on the collarbone. But if you can't engage that other hand, you know, it doesn't really do anything at this level of the game.
Truman here looking to burst his way out. of that tight body triangle.
Yeah,
he got halfway there, Josh, but wasn't able to completely free himself.
Well, you can see Aiden Lee takes his left hand, posts on the elbow, and drives the elbow of Truman back across, really helping him in that position. It's good scrambling from Aiden Lee.
And some strong words from referee Rich Mitchell there. I'm not entirely sure what it was he was admonishing them for. I did hear a couple of warnings for perhaps grabbing the glove in some of those scrambles, so it could have been that the referee was just keeping on top of as this second round gets underway. Second of 5 if they need them in this championship contest. Of course, neither man will have fought 5 rounds before, Josh.
No, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens if it goes that deep. But I mean, you know, it's rare that guys in this weight class have too much trouble with cardio going into those championship rounds. I'm sure they've both prepared. They've known that this has been coming for quite a while.
Both guys known for a very high level of output, be it striking, grappling, or both. Indeed, it often usually is both with this pair. Truman looking for a body kick there. Another world title clash yet to come here at Cage Warriors 100. Bantamweight title on the line as Jack Shaw faces Mike Echendu for the vacant strap. We want to hear your predictions. Join in the conversation on social media with the hashtag CW100 at Cage Warriors.
Lee's getting a bit more time to, Truman's getting a bit more time to work on the feet here, but he hasn't been able to get too much going yet. Lee's really staying well outside.
Lee doing a great job here, taking the centre of the cage. Truman switching his stance up. Both guys known for being able to switch that stance and keep their opponent guessing. Perhaps we're going to see a bit of a stalemate here in this striking exchange.
Yeah, I mean, Aiden Lee said in some of the preview stuff that, you know, he didn't think Truman would be able to hit him, and he's showing excellent movement to stay well outside the range.
He got caught with the left hand in that exchange. Lee firing a head kick up the left side of his own. Truman looking to walk his man down here. Oh, fires off the head kick. Just a couple of inches too short with that one.
I think that was a good job of mixing it up there. Aiden Lee was being a little bit too slow to circle out of the cage.
Nice combination there, but Truman able to slip the shots.
Lovely angles from Aiden Lee. Cutting everything very nicely.
Truman needs to be wary of the elbows here. We've seen Lee think about a couple, a sliding back elbow and a spinning elbow. Perhaps that's something he's keeping for later in this fight when Truman gets a little complacent maybe.
Yeah, he's really making Truman chase him and throw a lot into these strikes that aren't going anywhere for him. I mean, I wonder if it's part of the game plan.
Real chess match being played out before us. Both men switching stances, both men looking at feints and fakes. Nice two-piece there from Truman. Is Truman taking the centre of the cage for the most part, Josh? Lee seemingly happy though to just dance around him.
Yeah, I mean, these are the kind of things that come into play when you have a round like this, when nobody's really landed, the output and the feints are relatively simple. You have to start looking at who's coming forward, who's controlling the centre of the cage better. This is when those kind of minutiae start coming into it.
Truman did land a nice body kick a few moments ago.
Okay, stop!
The mouthpiece has come out for Aiden Lee, I believe. Wasting no time, getting it back in and underway. Referee Rich Mitchell restarts the action. Lee looking to tee up the big right there, the big left rather. Oh, and Truman coming just short with a big right hand of his own.
Oh, that was good timing for Aiden Lee, and he's on the back once again. Straight to the body triangle. Hits that from anywhere.
40 seconds on the clock, and we saw Lee really run the timer down in the first round. Will he have enough time to do something with this position in the second?
I mean, you would suggest no if he didn't really get the finish in 3 or 4 minutes, but, you know, we'll see. I mean, he's got the perfect body type for this type of grappling game. This real tie-up, constricting, back game.
Lee staying on the back here of Dean Truman as the clock wears down. As you say, Josh, not enough time to play with to make something of this position.
He's got a good squeeze on here across the face, though. You absolutely can finish it. I think a few seconds longer, that would have been very interesting.
And not looking as defiant as he walked back to his corner that time was Dean Truman.
Yeah,
he said it was nothing in the first round. He maybe felt something there, as you say, towards the end of the second, Josh.
Yeah, and I'm sure he'll probably feel a bit disappointed that he let that go with a minute left, because that position was probably the deciding factor in that round for the judges.
Nice kick across the body there from Dean Truman. They're cuffing right hand from Aiden Lee, but didn't land clean, nor did that spinning kick, which was the entry point for Aiden Lee.
See, Lee just hops to the back so quickly, locks the body triangle up from anywhere. I mean, you can choke someone across their face. You can get a decent compression, you can get a face bar. You know, there are options. And I think maybe if he makes the back for a third time in a third consecutive round, he's just got to start trying to be nasty with it. Face crank.
Oh, we're getting a couple of tweets here on social media saying they fancy Aiden Lee for a rear naked choke in the third round, and given the run of play in the first two, the option's certainly there.
Well, let's see if he can find it. It took him 4 minutes in the last round to close the distance enough.
Aiden Lee, just 23 years old. And what a way to jumpstart your MMA career at 23 years old and to win the Cage Warriors featherweight world title, to follow in the footsteps of the likes of Conor McGregor, Nando Amani, Paddy Pimblett, Jim Allers. Truman still just 29 years old himself. A win here will be absolutely huge for the Derbyshire man.
Oh, that was a good body kick from Truman.
Second time we've seen that in as many rounds from Truman.
Yeah, and he covers a lot of range when he throws it as well, but see what Aiden Lee does with the movement here, because he cuts some really good angles in the second.
Truman looking to load up for a big shot there. Good work to shock off the entry attempt. And we have seen Aiden Lee slow on occasion before, I believe against Monday. Looked like the gas tank was emptying a little bit as we entered the third and final round, and it looks like a similar thing may be happening here tonight, Josh.
Yeah, he pulled his leg back a little bit gingerly there, but he's on the single.
And of course, we don't just have 3.5 minutes left to play with. We've got another 2 championship rounds after this, and as so often is the case, could it be the championship rounds here, Josh, to separate the men from the boys?
Certainly could be. He's really making Aiden Lee work hard on this. Let's see if he can get the crossface back in. Aiden Lee's head's on the outside, so he's going to look to drive that wrist all the way up across his face. Now he powers back with the underhook. Just a little bit of the zing has gone out of Aiden Lee.
Oh, Truman with a nice takedown there. Lee looking like he was perhaps rolling for a leg, but nothing came of it.
I mean, you know, if you're going to invert under someone like that, you need explosiveness. You need a gas tank to really put yourself in what is a pretty compromised position.
And a very interesting choice from Dean Truman there, opting to step back and make Aiden Lee get back to his feet. Truman tried to stay up on that one, but Lee able to initiate a takedown against the cage now.
It's good pressure forward from Aiden Lee. Going up to trying to go for a rubber guard is Dean Truman.
Nice short elbow from Truman there as he looks to keep his man locked up.
Oh, he can land some horrible elbows from here. He's got Aiden Lee really tied up on that right shoulder.
Lee right in his own corner there, and you can hear the UFC's Tom Breeze barking instructions at Aiden Lee.
Oh, he's going to go for an omoplata here. Omoplata for Dean Truman. He's got to sit all the way up on it. He's got to stop Aiden Lee rolling, and he could have this. He's going to lean forward, grip around the neck. This could be an unbelievable submission.
That's my line.
Sorry, but
Dean Truman has got Aidan Lee in a terrible position here. Oh, it's over. Rich Mitchell's called it. Aidan Lee looking very frustrated. I'm not sure if we had a verbal tap there or the referee had seen enough. We're going to have to take a look at this one and perhaps see if we can get a word with the official if we can.
Yeah, I need to see what happened there. He had him in a horrible pinning position. He had a really nice omoplata set up, that shoulder lock. He used it to pin Aidan Lee and really expose his head. Let's take a look at the replay. So this was the omoplata. Textbook as soon as he manages to curl his right leg back. There we go. And he got around the body quickly, stopped Aidan Lee rolling. And his head was pinned up against the cage here.
And that arm's at a bad angle there, Josh.
It is. I don't know if Aidan Lee verbally tapped, if the ref thought he was too exposed. I'm honestly not sure from that.
We take another look here. You can see Aidan Lee talking there. He's saying something. We'll certainly try and get some information on what perhaps was said there if we can. But he was clearly talking there, potentially to the referee. We're not entirely sure. We'll find out. But regardless, we've got a new champion. Dean Truman is the Cage Warriors featherweight champion of the world. He wins the tournament, he wins the belt. So let's go to our MC in the cage, Mr. Andy Friedlander, to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Rich Mitchell calls a stop to this contest at 3 minutes and 36 seconds of round number 3. Declaring the winner by TKO and new Cage Warriors featherweight champion, Dean Truman.
Dean Truman is the new Cage Warriors featherweight champion of the world. He'll join my broadcast colleague Josh Palmer in the cage.
Dean Truman, Cage Warriors world champion. How you feeling?
Amazing. I'm not going to swear, but fucking amazing.
Apologise for the language, folks. You said from the outset that this belt was going to be yours, and you went and did it.
Yeah, man. I've worked hard for this. Aidan's got a great career ahead of him, but it's my time now.
Let's take a look up at the screen here for us. You had him in a really nasty omoplata and just pinned his head up against the cage. Talk us through it.
I saw him grimacing at that. I thought I'd just punch him. He didn't like the punches, I could see. And obviously Rich Mitchell saw the same.
We knew he was tricky on the ground. Were you worried at all in that first round in particular when he had you back for a good 3 or 4 minutes?
Yeah, he's got a slick back game, but I defended it and I stayed calm. And I did what I had to do.
I'm assuming this is a great Christmas present for you. Yeah, you ready to come and defend this belt in the new year?
100%. It's my belt, so I've got to defend it.
Ladies and gentlemen, your new champion, Dean Truman!
The new Cage Warriors featherweight champion, Dean Truman. He wins the world title tournament and he's ready to defend his belt next year. What a performance from the Derbyshire man here at Cage Warriors 100. We'll throw this straight back to Layla and Dan here at Cageside.
Brand new featherweight champion there in Dean Truman. How was that for you?
It was an evenly matched fight. I can see these guys meeting again in the future. I'm sure Dean will probably defend his belt against Aidan Lee in the future. These two guys, you know, they're the pinnacle of the featherweight division in Europe, and Dean just edged it tonight. Beautiful groundwork, great omoplata, trap to finish, and some good shots, forced the referee to stop it.
Now, of course, you followed him throughout the entire tournament. Tell us, how would you summarise his tournament performance?
You know, the thing that's exciting for me is he's still a developing fighter. You know, every time we see him come out, we see improvements in his game, but there are still things that he can tighten up and still make better. He's a great champion, and he's only going to get better from this point onwards. And sometimes having that gold around your waist is the validation that you need in your own head to push a bit more in the gym.
Do you think confidence is something that this will bring for him now?
Absolutely. Here's the champ here right now.
Oh, talking of confidence.
How you doing, mate?
Oh, marvellous.
How was that? All right?
Yeah, it's hard work. He got a good back game, but I defended like I had to, and I beat him up with the body kicks, slowly killed him.
So tell me about the omoplata. Did you just see that as an option available, or did you think you might be able to trap him in that?
I've got quite a good rubber guard game, and it was just staying there. I isolated the arm. It was there. It was pretty easy, really.
So what's next now? Take a bit of time off, enjoy that goal?
Yeah, I'm going to enjoy Christmas, and then New Year I'll defend this.
Absolutely.
And entertain you guys as usual.
Congratulations, mate. Congratulations.
Congratulations, absolutely entertaining indeed, your new featherweight champion, Dean Truman. Stick with us, because coming up we continue the build-up for our massive main event. You are watching Cage Warriors 100, a historic night here in Cardiff. And coming up, Mike Echendu takes on Jack Shaw for the bantamweight title. To our commentators, Brad and Josh.
Well, an interesting co-main event there, Josh. Just want to clear one thing up slightly, which may have caused a bit of confusion. When you have a technical submission finish in mixed martial arts, it is actually recorded as a TKO. So we're going to have to get confirmation from the referee at a later date, or if you check the online databases, I'm sure the official results will be up there in good time. But it's probably unlikely that finish did come from the punch, and more so that it was a technical submission from the omoplata, which would technically be recorded as a TKO.
Well, I mean, a technical submission implies that the referee made the decision to stop it without any damage being done to the arm. Maybe he saw an expression on the face of Aiden Lee. Our referees are very rarely wrong. It's an incredibly tough job. It's the title fight, the professional fighter. He knows where his limits are. He knows where his flexibility and his dexterity is. I would have liked to see that go a little bit, but it's rare. It's very rare, I will say that. But I would have liked to see that go a little bit further.
Speaking of going a little bit further, where does Dean Truman go from here? He's a guy who, if we maybe have levelled a criticism of him in the past, it's that he's not been amazingly consistent. He has now put it all together. He's on fire. What's next for Dean Truman?
Defend that belt. I mean, there's no shortage of people. We know that belt is a good route to get yourself, on and up to the UFC. Tidy a few things up perhaps a little bit, but, what a fantastic submission. You just don't see that position all that often.
He's brought a huge crowd with him here tonight. I know Cage Warriors have been to Birmingham this year. Maybe we go back again. Maybe that's where Dean Truman defends the belt. But now it's time for our main event of the evening.
This is my world. The late nights. The grind, the graft, and the hustle.
This is my world. The hard slog, the sweat and steel, the early mornings.
You let these streets take you down the wrong path, or you let them take you to greatness. I don't stop. That's how you survive out here.
I was made for this. Raised in a country that's bred fighters for generations. We've been fighting all our lives. I do this for all those who've stood by me. I'm leading us to glory.
I'm not playing games out here. There's no secret to this. I'm working through the night. I'm the last one to sleep.
I'm the first one awake. I've come too far to let this slip. Failure is not an option.
Unbeaten.
Undefeated.
Unrivaled.
2 worlds.
1 gold.
May the best man win.
Well, well, well. Well, tonight has been the perfect build-up to this very moment. Our main event is moments away. Mike Echendu taking on Jack Shaw. Graham, is this the perfect matchup for Cage Warriors 100 finale?
We couldn't have writ this. If we tried to put it down, it wouldn't have worked out. We got two of the best bantams going head-to-head in their prime, both unbeaten, both have never tasted a loss.
Two unbeaten fighters from very poignant gyms as well. Mike Echendu said something that I find really interesting. He said that he's had harder times in his own gym sparring than any fight he's ever had. How important is that in the build-up for a fight like this?
I think it's important psychologically, especially when you're coming in for a tough fight and you're going to be up against someone that, like Jack Shaw, who can throw all kinds of things at you. You know, you look at the Titan Fighter gym, you look at the guys that have come through there, like Nathaniel Wood, like Brad Pickett. You've also got to think Brad Pickett's got a lot of American top team experience that he's brought back to that gym, which fits perfectly with Mike's style. So I'm sure he feels like he's got the complete skill set tonight. But this crowd around us, I mean, it's absolutely incredible, isn't it? Jack Shaw has stirred something special in Wales, and I think we're going to see that tonight.
Absolutely. I think even the cameras and the mics won't do this justice tonight. The atmosphere here is unbelievable. What is it about Jack Shaw that makes the crowd go wild?
He's just standard average guy, you know. People can relate to him. He's a guy who's the boy next door. You know, he's gone to school here, he's gone to university here, he knows everybody has grown up here, and the whole arena is here shouting for him right now. He's not even come out yet.
Mike Echendu, 7-0, a varied win history. Can he challenge Jack Shaw in all areas?
I think he can. I certainly think he can. I think obviously he's got to edge his bets. He's got to go where he's most likely to win. And to me, he's got to close this fight down as quickly as possible. Jack Shaw's the taller, the longer fighter. He's very good at staying on the outside and picking people off. The danger is that Mike's going to stay on the end of his jab all night. Obviously, the danger for Jack Shaw is he's going to find himself cramped up against the fence with very little space to move. So, I mean, really it depends on who starts off the best and if they can make that game plan come to fruition.
Well, you've just gone to where I want to go next. Who's going to start off the best? How do you envisage round one?
I think Jack Shaw's going to feel this energy in here. I think he's going to try and keep his calm in the first round, and I think Mike Echendu is going to try and get it to the floor as quickly as possible.
Graham, how do you envisage round one?
I think they're going to feel each other out. I think Mike is going to come out and want Jack down as quick as he can. I think Jack is going to play and see where Mike wants to go. That's how I see it playing.
Well, now we go back over to Andy Freelander as we build up to the main event.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is more fitting on this historic night, Cage Warriors 100, right here in Cardiff, Wales, than to set the scene with the Welsh baritone Jordan Jones.
I hear love and heart and only me. What part of the Cantonian and Warrior of me? I curo ravel with blood God with dramat. Just sons, I white, lies all theme glad, tramod and fear, here been of by, or pathet in yai, but high. Good, light your loy theme glad, tramod and fear, here been of by, or pathet in yai.
Mike Echendu versus Jack Shaw.
Mike Echendu announced himself to Cage Warriors fans with a dominant ground performance against Ed Arthur back in July. Now the Team Titan fighter is aiming to seize the vacant bantamweight title recently held by his teammate Nathaniel Wood.
The belt's staying put at Titans. It's never left and it's not going to leave. Team Titans is playing past the parcel with that belt.
Echendu may need a career-defining performance to win in Wales, but he's certainly not feeling the pressure.
No concern, no worries, no stress, no nothing. Cool, calm and composed, ready to put on greatness.
Undefeated Jack Shaw is the pride of his father's combat club in the Welsh Valleys. Last time out, he delighted his army of fans by overwhelming Brazilian Wesley Maia in this very arena.
Shaw raining down big elbows here. It's over.
It set me up, you know, quick turnaround. Camp's been good, I'm in the shape of my life and just ready to perform and ready to get that title.
Tonight, Shaw knows that Echendu poses a significant threat to his perfect record and career ambitions.
Mike's a very tough guy, good skill set, but I just feel like I'm the better man all round, and that's going to show tonight when we step in the cage.
Jack Shaw doesn't pose a threat. No bantamweight in the world poses a threat. I'm looking to be the best in the world.
I'm going to be Cage Warriors champion, whether that means getting the finish or going the 5 rounds. I'm prepared to do both.
Jack Shaw's gone on a first-class flight. He's going to be a passenger on Echendu Airlines.
To win that world title is not only going to be massive for myself, but for my fans and my team as well, and it's going to be a great occasion.
It's the vacant Cage Warriors bantamweight title.
Ladies and gentlemen, fight fans, Cardiff, are you ready for the main event of the evening? Please welcome as both of these young men make their way into the ring to compete for the vacant Cage Warriors bantamweight title. First up, he fights out of Brixton, London, England, and goes by the name of Mike Echendu Airlines.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time finally for the main event of one of the biggest cards, perhaps the biggest card in Cage Warriors history. It's the bantamweight title bout, and making his way to the cage first, Mike Echendu Airlines, looking to put local hero Jack Shaw on a flight, Josh.
Yeah, and you know, he's walking into a very partisan crowd here. Mike Echendu, you know, he dug himself out from Brixton, and he's been working so hard over the last 6 years to get himself to here. And he said in an interview not that long ago, he's like, you know what, this is what I signed up for. He knew this was coming, he's had confidence to get here, and he's done a great job in doing that so far. He's undefeated, as is his opponent tonight. He's 7-0, also 5-0 as an amateur. 4 of his wins have come by TKO. He does this by flinging people about, grinding them down to the ground, and knocking them out with some ground and pound. He's had 3 fights this year. Made his debut at Cage Warriors 95 in July with a unanimous decision win over Ed Arthur. You know what? He was able to put his game plan to work there, but he did have to escape and show some sufficient defense a couple of times as well. So he's clearly got the chops. It's interesting to see what happens if he can get hold of Jack Shaw.
Echendu's got some fans in the crowd here as well, Josh. And I tell you what, if this young man is at all bothered by the atmosphere here in the Viola Arena, he's certainly not wearing it on his face.
Yeah, I don't think he will be bothered. He has that kind of confidence you need to just come and take a belt.
Mike Echendu Airlines entering the Isosport prep point.
You know, I thought it was interesting. He said he's not really looking to actually have a fight tonight. He's looking for dominance. He's looking so far beyond being in a good fight. He's just looking at dominating and putting his will and his version of work into play.
In the corner there with Mikey Papas are a pair of Cage Warriors veterans, Ash Grimshaw, Bola Amayeli. Of course, training under Brad Pickett at Team Titan as well. The host of current and former Cage Warriors stars, and of course, the last man to hold this belt was Nathaniel Wood, one of his training partners.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great for that gym if they could hang on to it?
defeated the experienced Ed Arthur by decision in his Cage Warriors debut in that high-profile win, earned him the title shot here tonight. And not only is he undefeated as a professional, he's undefeated full stop. He has never tasted defeat in the cage, has this young man from London.
There's something just special when two undefeated guys meet, and not only meet for a title where they both have big, legitimate, undefeated records with good performances. You know, it's going to be heartbreak for one of them tonight. Can't wait to find out who it is.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, his opponent walking into the ring here in Cardiff. From Abertillery in Wales, it's Jack Tank Shaw!
Because Jack Shaw's on fire and there are thousands of screaming fans in the arena right behind this young man from Abertillery, Wales.
Yeah, I don't think I need to say it again, but he is undefeated. 9-0 as a professional, with 8 of those wins being finishes, only going to a decision once. He's also 12-0 undefeated as an amateur with 8 submissions. All except one of his pro fights have been on Cage Warriors. You know, he had a tough time dealing with opponent changes at Cage Warriors 97 last time out, but he looked great over a very game Wesley Meyer, and it all comes down to tonight.
Not just undefeated as an amateur, Josh, but a champion at the IMAFs, European Open winner, and his 8th appearance on the main card here at Cage Warriors with 9 professional wins. He's well-rounded. 8 of those wins have come inside the distance, and conventional wisdom on fight week has been, Josh, that if this one is finished, it'll be Jack Shaw that does the finishing.
Jack Shaw, you know, maybe he's got a little bit of an advantage in the striking. He's been greatly improving that. He puts together really good combinations of his hands in with the knees when you get in tight. We've seen him finish opponents like that. I'm really interested to see what happens if he has to work from his guard and Echendu puts him on his back, because we don't see a whole lot of that. He's used to taking guys down and taking them out from a top position or getting their back or ground and pounding them. So I'm very interested to see what happens if he's on the receiving end of Echendu Airlines.
Jack Shaw leads the ISO Sport prep point. It's time for our main event of Cage Warriors 100. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape for this bantamweight title fight. Mike Echendu just 24, Jack Shaw even younger at 23 years old. The Welshman with a slight height advantage of 2 inches, standing 5 feet 9 to Echendu's 5'7". Both men undefeated. Echendu 7-0, Shaw 9-0, and it's Jack Shaw who is the very slight but maker's favourite. So for one last time, ladies and gentlemen, we throw it to our MC in the cage, Mr. Andy Friedlander.
Ladies and gentlemen, mixed martial arts fans, Cardiff, this is the main event of the evening. 5 rounds for the vacant Cage Warriors bantamweight title. Scoring this fight, our 3 cage-side judges are David Letherby, Ben Cartledge and Mark Khalid. And when the action begins, the referee in charge, Mark Goddard. Coming live from the Viola Arena in the passionate sporting city of Cardiff in Wales. This is Cage Warriors 100, and we have the world watching. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, boasting a perfect professional record, this mixed martial artist has a record of 7 wins, no losses. Standing 5 feet 7 inches tall, he weighed in at 135 pounds. Fighting out of Brixton, London, England, Mike Echendu Airlines. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he too brings a perfect mixed martial arts record of 9 wins, no losses. Standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, he weighed in at 135 pounds. Fighting out of Abertillery, Wales, Jack Tank Shaw.
Okay, gentlemen, you understand the rules you're fighting under. Listen to me at all times. Keep yourself protected. When I say stop, you stop. Touch gloves. Let's do it.
Final instructions from referee Mark Goddard. 5 5-minute rounds in the Cage Warriors bantamweight division, and the lovely Edith LaBelle gets us underway for the first of them. Jack Tank Shaw in the black and red camo. Mike Echendu Airlines in the black and white. Vacant title on the line. Brad Watt and Josh Palmer privileged to call the action from cage side for this Cage Warriors 100 main event.
Echendu measuring that jab out.
Don't expect Echendu to come in here as a one-dimensional fighter. We know the guys at Titan will have tuned him up in all areas for this, but it's the wrestling which really is his bread and butter, Josh.
Yeah, he's got a good early clinch with the over-under body lock here. You see that palm-to-palm gable grip. Very, very strong grip to break. He's getting the head involved as well, and try and make it unpleasant for Jack Shaw right from the off.
Shaw competed as high as lightweight, I believe, as an amateur. So used to throwing big bodies around.
Let's make it work there, guys.
And very interesting there, you see referee Mark Goddard after just under a minute already asking for action from Mike Echendu.
Yeah, trading knees on the inside. It's a good takedown.
Oh, it's the first takedown of the fight, and it's come from the Welshman.
Yeah, he re-pummeled, got the body lock, and was able to trip very decisively. Let's see what Echendu does here.
Well, I don't know if there were any proposition bets available, but if there were, there's going to be some bookmakers with some very sore pockets after Jack Shaw gets the first takedown.
Yeah, Jack Shaw's turning that shoulder in on top, trying to keep the upper body of Echendu pinned. He's looking to long step his leg out here.
And Josh, what's this going to do for the confidence of Jack Shaw, knowing he's able to get a takedown on a guy that really you would have expected it to be the other way around?
I mean, leaps and bounds. It's going to help him, especially if he spends a lot of time in this top position. He's got a good underhook there. You see him reinforce around the head. He's got to try and free that leg that's stuck in half guard here. I mean, it looks like he could be able to just whip it out because Echendu is playing this kind of butterfly guard. Oh, he's looking for... Well, he looks as though he's looking for a leg entanglement, and Shaw pummels and sprawls him out, makes him pay with this head position again.
Oh, Shaw looking to get a grip round the neck here. Is he going to be able to get this from here, Josh?
No, he can't finish the submission at all, but what he can do is use it to make it very uncomfortable, control the direction that Echendu can turn, use it to free his leg. Then if he still had the grip, he could look to lock up the head and arm strangle. You see Echendu using that lockdown. That's that little crisscross with the legs to try and stretch the hip of Jack Shaw out. Jack Shaw's just really heavy in this position. We've seen it in fights over and over again. He passes, he gets guys to turn over once he gets the mount. You know, he's very well versed in what he needs to do here. I mean, this is a fundamental passing method he's trying to do. Control the upper body, bring that left instep in and pry the feet apart.
And whenever he's got a tiny little bit of space up top, we've seen Shaw throw in his short shots as well. Look to throw an elbow down there.
I think that's one thing that's been so substantial about his game is his ability to land ground and pound in very small openings and then re-establish those positions. You see it there. You know, Echendu with a bit more explosiveness might have been able to get up, but Shaw got a good couple of shots in, and then he goes straight back, re-cements this position. That horrible shoulder of justice turning the head.
It's often been a criticism levied at fighters from these isles, Josh, that we perhaps don't have the same level of wrestling as perhaps our North American counterparts. But then you look at a fight like this, and it's a pretty solid answer as Jack Shaw looks to take the back here.
Yeah, Echendu, he decided the only way to get out was to turn and go to his belly. He's given up one hook, but he's doing a good job of putting his back on the cage here. He has got a block. That grip coming through, short choke for Jack Shaw.
Oh, this is a bad spot for Mike Echendu.
Oh, he switched.
Shaw readjusting here. 51 seconds on the clock for Jack Shaw to pull off a miracle first round submission.
It is one thing to be the dominant grappler in your bouts, but to be on the receiving end and have to defend consistently, it's a different type of skill set, a different type of energy.
Again, Shaw trying to get underneath the jawline of Mike Echendu.
I will say Echendu is staying incredibly calm. Look, he doesn't seem bothered. I mean, he's eating a few shots there, but he's got his route to try and deal with this, and he's staying very calm in doing so.
Oh, big elbow from Jack Shaw there, and he's made Echendu turn again.
Yeah,
15 seconds on the clock.
He's going to go heavy short choke here. He's got to get the hips involved, try and flatten Echendu out a bit more. I don't think he's going to have time, but what a round for the Welshman.
Punching under the armpit there at the buzzer. The first round is in the books. Jack Shaw steps up triumphantly, and the crowd here at the Viola Arena absolutely ecstatic, Josh, as well they might be.
That's a fantastic round. Let's take a look at the replays, and in particular this takedown. Jack Shaw got the double unders, and then he knew to use them straight away. He wasted no time. And from there, it was one-way traffic.
One-way traffic is an absolute perfect way to describe it, Josh. Didn't give Echendu an inch. Put him in a whole host of bad positions.
I mean, look, short of getting a finish, that's about as dominant as you can be on the ground. Made him carry his weight, advanced position, attained dominant position repeatedly, threatened submissions. You can't really ask for much more from a first round.
I mean, are we looking at a 10-8 round there, perhaps, Josh?
It's possible. Did he get deep enough on a submission, or did he do enough damage with ground and pound? Possibly not. But positionally, it was incredibly dominant.
Mike Echendu will need a big second frame here to turn this around. Not just in terms of putting points on the judges' scorecards, but for his own confidence and state of mind.
As you say, he kept very calm, so I assume he's still well in with his game plan. I wouldn't be worried about his cardio one bit. He's got the body lock now. Well, it's over-unders, actually. And he gets a good bend on the spine.
And he takes Jack Shaw down. Turnabout fair play here in the second round.
I love it. Carbon copy, but this time we're going to see what Jack Shaw's defense is like. And I'm interested to see if he tries to attack from the bottom, or sweep, or get back to his feet, because those are really his options here.
And it looks like Mike Echendu's cut here, Josh. I'm not sure where that blood's coming from, whether it's a cut or whether it's from the nose of Echendu. But there's blood on the body of Jack Shaw coming through his opponent.
So this left leg of Echendu is really important. He's shelving the right leg of Jack Shaw on it, and that's the leg that Shaw needs to retract to get back. See how his left arm is coming and it's hugging to his kneecap, and he's staying tight on that leg just to stop Jack Shaw being able to do any form of technical stand-up against the cage.
And the corner team of Mike Echendu saying he needs to score some damage here, so perhaps they were thinking what we might have been thinking, Josh, in that he might be a 10-8 round down already, and they need a dominant frame here to get back in this fight.
They do, but he needs to attain a dominant position first. It's going to be very hard to land any kind of ground and pound on someone as well versed as Jack Shaw from what is not an awful position for him. Yes, he's on the bottom, but he's still got defensive frames in. He's not taking any damage. He's looking for the guillotine. Can't see if he's got a high-risk position, which would really help him here. Switches to arm in.
And this is perhaps the difference in what we saw in the first round, Josh. It's Jack Shaw on the back foot here, but he's constantly moving, constantly looking for ways to attack or change the position.
Yeah, you can see every time he tries to get back to his feet, Echendu is going to shut down his hips. He's going to hold on to his lower body and kind of drag him a few inches away from the cage again.
Shaw looking like he does want to use the cage to get back to his feet and perhaps get that sweep going there.
That Sumigashi hook, he tried to lift with it, but he's done a good job of getting back to a closed guard here.
And Echendu doing a great job here of slowing down the momentum of Shaw from that first round.
Yeah, so his options are limited here, pressed up against the cage like this. He can't really mobilize his hips to create angles to attack. His only option here is to try and scoot back and use the cage to stand back up. Or, as
Mark Goddard calling for a bit of action there, Josh.
Yes, you see he pummels back inside and he's got that wrist grip. It's going to help facilitate the sweep.
And Shaw back to his feet and takes down Echendu. And the crowd goes wild here at the Viola Arena.
What he's going to need is he's going to need ground and pound, and he's going to need advanced position, because Echendu had 3 minutes on top and there's 2 minutes left in this round. So just holding this position minimally is not really going to give it to him on the judges' scorecard. If he can advance position, if he can land ground and pound exactly like that, it's going to spin it for him.
Shaw needs to perhaps free that leg or posture up and create some space to throw the short elbows here. You see boxing coach Gary Lockett in the corner there alongside his head coach and indeed his father Richard Shaw, looking on intently as Shaw looks to pass the guard.
So he's close to advancing position here. He's stuck in quarter guard here with the ankle traps. I'm really surprised we just don't see Echendu try and hip escape more. There's sort of a fundamental defense that I'm surprised he's not putting to use, and he's got flattened again.
Shaw looking to punch his way through the gaps here. Ekendu's going to be careful of leaving his neck open, Josh.
And you see the heavy hips of Jack Shaw. He's trying to drive through the spine. These are good shots as well.
40 seconds left to play with for Jack Shaw. And even if he doesn't get the fit, oh, he's got the choke in here, does he? Echendu fighting the hands.
Shaw's so good at trying to switch off the choke on the other arm. He's giving Echendu so much to think about, but this is complete one-way traffic here. He's going to try and go face crank, perhaps. 50 seconds left. There you go. See how he snatches the wrist in as well. Beautiful positioning.
10 seconds left in the round. Echendu hanging on for dear life here with Shaw just puts the gloves to him. Oh, big elbows from Jack Shaw.
Wow, you want to see how you turn around after being on the bottom? That is how.
Echendu, Josh, it has to be said, perhaps looking a little bit shell-shocked there on the way back to his corner. And it's going to be very, very important the next minute and what his corner team says to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at the replays to see where that cut came from.
There's a jab maybe to the nose that started the bleeding there from Jack Shaw.
Yeah, it's just a good stiff jab. This was good work from Echendu on top. He was never able to advance position. He was so preoccupied with having to hold Johns in place. And this hook to sweep back up immediately on the takedown. You see, there's no time wasted in the transition. And that makes such a difference when you're in these kind of close fights.
Jack Shaw in the corner there, looking ice cold as usual. Shaw and Echendu about to enter the third round here. Neither man has entered the championship rounds before as a professional. So we'll see if we get to that virgin territory. Echendu looking to tie his man up but gets his back put on the fence.
Yeah, the re-pummel from Shaw was great there. Looking to step across and just muscles him down. And Echendu, he's gone to holding on here. I mean, you'd think he'd be posting, he'd be trying to get his hip out, trying to connect to the cage.
It was dubbed as 2 worlds, 1 goal. But it's one-way traffic here in the second and third rounds.
Yeah, again, going back to the well on this instep to break the guard. Head and arm possibly, but again, that leg stuck. He's going to be able to put pressure on, but should be hard to finish.
And it has been one of Echendu's saving graces on the bottom, the amount of time he's been able to keep that leg locked down, hasn't he, Josh?
Yeah, he slowed Shaw down a lot in this position. The problem is, slowing someone down is great. You've got to get up, you've got to get out, you've got to see what Jack Shaw did. Use the frames to sweep and scramble.
And again, Shaw looking to create a little bit of space here to drop down those short punches and elbows. Staying very heavy now.
I mean, I think as some fatigue perhaps sets into Echendu, you know, defending like this is very hard moves to mount.
Shaw in man here. And there was a grimace on the face of Echendu, whether it was pain or frustration remains to be seen.
I mean, it's plan A work from Jack Shaw. It's takedown, pass guard, mount, expose the back, try and choke the guy. It's as route one and clinical as you can get.
Shaw with a great position here and 3 minutes on the clock. He looked close to a finish in the second round. Could he get one in the third?
I mean, he's got a lot of time to work. They're a bit slipperier, you know, especially with a little bit of blood, a little bit of sweat. Things might start sliding in. The thing I can tell you is he's not going to give up position to go for something else like an arm. He's just going to work this grind, and that's absolutely the smart thing to do. I mean...
Get out of there, Mike!
And the referee's asking Echendu to improve the position. Shaw pummeling away. Goes for the neck of Echendu.
Yeah, Echendu has got to be careful to turn over this much and expose his back repeatedly, get flattened repeatedly. He's not going to let him take punches like this.
Jack Shaw looking to finish the fight here. Spins for the head and arm.
Yeah, he's gonna haul him up and chair sit to the back again here, maybe, if he can't get the head and arm. Oh, sprawls him out.
And it's a long time for Mike Echendu to survive. Shaw with a big elbow.
Yeah, I'm struggling to see how Echendu is going to turn this around. I really am. Jack Shaw just been dominant on the ground here. Gift wrap with punches. I mean, a big flurry. Mark Goddard's going to look to stop this because Echendu is taking a lot of damage.
An absolutely relentless onslaught for Jack Shaw. Shaw looking to finish this fight.
Oh, good scramble from Echendu. And in fairness to him, every time Mark Goddard has told him to move, he's moved, he's defended, and he's got himself up here. This is an anaconda for Brett Johns. He's going to Olympic roll through, so he's going to hide that head, roll through over his left shoulder.
Blood pouring from the head of Echendu here as Jack Shaw looks to cinch up this choke.
And it's a smart decision. He couldn't roll him to cement the position because of the angle the cage was at. So he's going to go back to the back here. Echendu stumbling back to his feet. See how long for, though.
Brilliant work from Shaw not to go too far over the top there. A minute left to play with. Mark Goddard looking closely at this one. And it's over! Jack Shaw's on fire! And he is the new Cage Warriors Bantamweight Champion of the world!
That was as dominant as you can be. It was flawless, quite frankly. It was near flawless from Jack Shaw. I mean, the pressure he must be able to put on guys his size on the ground to wear them down, to grind them down.
Richard Shaw in the corner of his son over there is in floods of tears. The emotion pouring out of both father and son. What a moment for this duo. They've come literally all the way from the streets of Abertillery, Wales, up through the amateur ranks, into the pros, and now Jack Shaw is the Cage Warriors World Champion.
So here's the replay of the finish, and it was just, he saw this position over and over, just utterly relentless. And, you know, he didn't have a misstep. That's what's so impressive. His ability to scramble, to get back, to maintain dominant position. It was just the work rate as well. I mean, you know, that is a well-earned title, and not well-earned tonight, well-earned through the 12 amateurs and the 9 pros it took to get here.
What a performance from the young man from Abertillery, Wales. And the look on his face said, what, you think it wasn't going to happen like this? It's true what they say. Jack Shaw is on fire. The fight's over, but not a single fan has left the venue. They're standing in the aisles, they're standing in the bleachers, they're standing at cage side, and they are rejoicing with the tank, with the new champion here in Cardiff. What a moment to cap off Cage Warriors 100. Absolutely riotous scenes here at the Viola Arena. Jack Shaw is on fire. Let's throw this one to our MC in the cage, Mr. Andy Friedlander. And in just a moment's time, he'll make it official for the last time tonight here in Cardiff. Jack Shaw looks like he can hardly believe his eyes. The crowd here in Cardiff are throwing one of the biggest Cage Warriors house parties ever. Let's throw to Andy Friedlander in the cage to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Goddard calls a stop to this title contest at 4 minutes and 7 seconds of round number 3, declaring the winner by TKO. And new Cage Warriors Bantamweight Champion, Jack Tank Shaw.
Commiserations to Mike Echendu. Congratulations to the new champ, Jack Tank Shaw. He'll join my broadcast colleague Josh Palmer in the cage for one final time here at Cage Warriors 100.
Jack, undefeated as an amateur, undefeated through 10 fights as a professional. You are the new Cage Warriors World Champion. How does that feel?
Feels just like it should. Hey, what are they going to say now? What are they going to say now? You know, it's all I've had. He's got no takedown defense. He's got no striking. He's got none of this, none of that. What will they say now? I can do it all. Striking, wrestling, grappling. I'm the best in this division in every area. Big fans to Mike, great opponent, and pushed me to train and push like I never pushed before.
You were very dominant once you got that to the ground. Let's take a look at the finish here up on that main screen. Talk us through the strikes that ended it.
Yeah, I could feel once I had top position, you know, that I had in control. People were saying, you know, you'd be too much for me on the top, but I felt completely differently. I know if I get that top position on anyone, they're in trouble, and I feel like that's anyone in the world, not just in Cage Warriors. And I could feel him getting more tired, and as soon as I had that arm trap, I knew it was game over.
I don't want to put your dad on the spot here, but we saw him in floods of tears here just as that was announced and you got that win. What's it been like on this journey with him to get here tonight?
You know, without him, I wouldn't have this title. This is a lifetime of hard work. You know, he pushes me every day in and out the cage. You know, him, Carl Parker as well, Gary Lockett, Big GC. You know, all my friends, my teammates at Toledo Combat, all the boys in the crowd, my mother, my sister, my girlfriend. Everyone, this is not just for me, this is for them, you know. They've been with me every step of the way. It's great to share this moment with them.
The crowd really have been with you every step of the way. It's electric every time you walk out. What kind of energy did that give you coming in tonight to that kind of reception?
It just gives you that push, you know. You can't describe it unless you've done it yourself. That more often than not means more to me than getting a win than you. The support they show me is unbelievable, and I'll never truly be able to repay them. I love them to bits, every one of them.
This belt has a lot of big names behind it who've held it. It's an important belt. What's next for you in defending it and moving forward?
You know, I've had 2 tough fight camps back to back, you know, both training for 5-round fights. A little bit of time to heal. I'm sure they'll come back to Wales in the new year, and when they do, I'll be ready. And all these lot will be ready with me, and we'll go again. I'm here to stay. I want to defend this belt.
Look forward to it. Ladies and gentlemen, your new world champion, Jack Shaw!
A phenomenal night here in Cardiff. Jack Tank Shaw with his head held high, with the Cage Warriors title held high, and of course the Welsh flag held high, alongside his father Richard and their whole team at Abertillery Combat. What a moment this is. We'll throw this to Layla, Dan and Graham at cage side for some final thoughts.
New bantamweight champion in Jack Shaw. Absolutely ecstatic crowd here at Cage Warriors 100 in Cardiff. For the crowd, it must be the perfect end to a perfect night, Graham.
It's fairy tale ending. You know, you got a guy who's grown up on Cage Warriors, and he's just taking the bantamweight belt on Cage Warriors 100 in his hometown in Cardiff in Wales with a sold-out arena. We couldn't have asked for any more.
Dan, that was a dominant performance from Shaw, wasn't it?
It was incredible from start to finish. You know, he fights in such a mature way for his age. It's absolutely astounding. I mean, really, the sky's the limit for him. The way he fights, the maturity that he's showing at this young age, and the way that he's just decimating these guys. I mean, Mike Echendu is no joke at all. Undefeated, incredibly strong, but got the tables turned on him. You know, he was put on his back, he was dominated from the top position and beaten up. I just think Jack Shaw is the one to watch for next year.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the finish again. We did see throughout the fight some intelligent defending from Mike Echendu.
Well, there was no quitting him, absolutely. I mean, Mike Echendu was in this fight from start to finish. He defended every rear naked choke he possibly could. The only way to get the finish ultimately was to put him in a position where he couldn't defend himself intelligently and keep hitting him with clean shots. You know, every single time that Jack Shaw looked like he was getting close to that rear naked choke, Mike Echendu would scramble, he would hand fight, he would get out of the position. I mean, there was just no quitting the kid. I mean, you've got to think Mike Echendu he's going to go back, he's going to regroup, he's going to add a few things to his game, and he's going to come back for this title, there's no doubt about it.
And his resilience out of this world. Graham, how was the whole night for you? We've got 2 new champions, a fantastic event.
It was an amazing event, but before we jump on to anything about the event is Mike Echendu, for me, I went and spoke to him after that. The guy is a warrior. You know, he's a warrior as warriors come. I spoke to his team as well. There was just no quitting Mike, and he would have just kept going and going and going. And hats off to you, Mike. All credit where credit's due. Regards the event for us, amazing. Fair retail ending, 100. We got a guy here who's part of the furniture still talking with us. You know, we got yourself presenting. We got 2 new champions. That couldn't be better for us.
Thank you.
The end of a perfect year.
And Dean Truman, our new featherweight champion.
Look fantastic. I cannot wait to see who he defends his belt against next year. You know, he's always in exciting fights. I think Aiden Lee's going to gain a lot from this as well. He's still very young. You know, we're stacked out with champions and contenders. You know, Cage Warriors is the place to be.
Well, we saw in the MMA news that you paused all matchmaking before this event. Now Ian Dean can get back to work now that we know what all the results are in. Thank you so much, both of you, for a fantastic event. That was the perfect combination for Cage Warriors 100, wrapping up 2018. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for. From me, Layla Annalee, Dan Hardy, and Graham Boylan, we're only left to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. We'll see you next year.